Just getting started. Getting started. Got that. We got that. Okay. Okay. And thank you for the lurk to Invisa. I hope you have a good day. I am still just prepping, so as per usual. So maybe I should move the mic closer to my face. Okay. Up here. Okay, that should be up. And hopefully everything is okay outside. So, okay, let's open the OBS on my computer. Sorry, it sounds like someone's home right now, so could just be a cat, but anyways, hello everybody, it's me, Varia the ViridianGhost. Thank you for coming to my stream today. I hope you like what you see here. I am just continuing my painting from the previous stream, so I did some work on after stream and yesterday as well. So hopefully the roses are mostly done, but I do think I need to just get to work on the background section. So hopefully I'm in the right mind space to work on it properly, because I know it's gonna be it's a little more abstracted than what I'm used to. But yeah, so anyways, let's just go ahead and get to the art screen right now. So, okay. Yeah, just making sure it works. So yeah, you can see that I rendered the flowers a little bit more, but I didn't want to push it too far until I, as I said, got the background worked on. So let me just get my stylus. I'm just kind of wave this around. You guys can't see it, but okay. And I never changed the name of this layer, so yeah, the rose layer was actually called the sketch layer because that's what it was originally a sketch layer, but yeah, I needed to change that real quick. So okay, so this is the abstract layer, and this is actually meant to just be a base. So I will make a layer over that, and I will just name it BG for now, and I'm just gonna keep it as their own areas. Okay, so I remember that I wanted but yeah, basically I will just be going over the background layer with some colors. Hopefully it should be a bit stronger. The colors should be a bit stronger, I should say. Wish I could speak. And also I do want to try to keep some of these decorations from the dots in there, but I will have to put those back in afterwards. So yeah, just kind of have a rounded shape over here. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter over here. And that's because I feel like there's a bit of a tangent right here, so I'm not super thrilled about that. So yeah, I'm going to have to shrink this area a little bit. Okay. So actually I'm going over the line right here because just to remind myself that I need to go even lower. Lower, lower, lower. Yeah, I should have written down what I wanted to do because I think I forgot. Okay. But yeah, so not much has really nothing too exciting for me personally has been happening. I started rewatching Full Metal Alchemist again, so I've watched that show a few times already, but it's a classic for a reason. It's really, really good. So yeah, I kind of just spontaneously decided to do that, to rewatch it again this past weekend, like on Sunday, I think. So yeah, I've been kind of enjoying that. By the way, I'm making this vine area darker, and I can like lighten it with some other colors later on, but yeah, I think I just need to recreate these different sections in lighter and darker colors. But yeah, this is kind of why I didn't want to push go too much further with the roses here, because I knew I needed to actually establish more colors in the background area. Okay, oops, it's not what I wanted. Okay, I wanted to make this corner a bit more blue. And yeah, I figured I should go over this stuff. I'm just gonna scribble in some of this further background stuff, because I think it's a little bit, you know, it could use a little more strength, maybe. You know, maybe. Okay. Yeah, okay. Actually, hold on. Kind of like this shape. So I mentioned this before on stream, but back in the, I think maybe like at the beginning of this year, I wanted to try and like practice my abstracts some more, but I just never really got around to it because I got distracted by other stuff. I also just felt like I was going on for, or I was kind of struggling because I was using traditional mediums. And I just felt like I wasn't coming out that well. You know, it took ages for things to dry, and I had a limited space, so I kind of got stressed out. But yeah, so. But I do kind of factor in some abstraction in my current work, so yeah, it was kind of the goal with my, so when I was practicing abstract, it was kind of my goal to just, you know, use it to get better at composition and form and all that. And I thought it would be a good way to add more like energy and stuff to my regular art. Sorry, some of you might be people who aren't maybe a little less experienced with the ViridianGhost streams. I'm not the best speaker in the world. Hopefully I can get better, but yeah. Yeah, actually earlier this morning I was thinking that maybe I should start doing those like exercises again. And also, hello Deadpoolzilla, thank you for coming here. I hope you have a good time. As you can see, I'm working on the background to these roses, so I'm kind of blending things out to make them more subtle, but yeah, I'm trying to strengthen some of or like maybe add a little more saturation to some areas, but yeah, I'm trying to finish this off. But yeah, how was your day, by the way? If you're okay with chatting, it's okay if you want to lurk. It looks good, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I was just talking about how I needed to try to practice talking again, because I tried doing that when I started streaming, but I kind of just you know, that kind of stuff kind of got away from me, admittedly. Yeah, I just have a trouble staying on topic and whatnot, but anyways, I'm glad you like how it's coming out. But yeah, I'm just trying to work on the background area and the abstract. You know, I think I might have screwed up the colors a little bit. Yeah, I just wanted to make this vine thing stronger in the background, but I kind of worry if I overdid it. I don't know, I'll just have to try and bring back these like little flowing vines. Also, I think I was supposed to add more reds into the background to kind of match all the roses around here, so. But yeah, originally I was using this art piece to try to get myself back into art mode, because I just was struggling to come up with a proper composition or piece to start. I guess technically this is a proper piece, but usually the art that I do has subjects in it, so like basically a person. But yeah, I just was struggling to come up with something last week, so I just decided to go ahead and do flowers. Because, you know, I was actually thinking about flowers a lot last week as well. you know, the gardening season, it just ended in my area. Well, not just ended, it's actually been kind of done for a while, but you know, I've been going out and trying to collect more seeds from the garden so I can plant certain flowers again next year. Yeah, actually this morning I just went out and grabbed more of my marigold seeds. I grabbed a few beforehand, but you know, I felt like I should have gotten more, at least some more from like the flowers that I knew were the yellow ones. Because I bought myself a bunch of yellow marigolds at the beginning of the year. Basically, the marigolds were supposed to be like a border, so yeah, that's why I want a lot of them. But yeah, I just kind of decided to go with roses just because I've been looking at I took some photos at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of a spring season, from a garden center that I live close to. And man, it's like those roses were like super pretty. I don't know how you feel about flowers. Sorry, I like to yap about plants sometimes. I yapped a lot more about plants and flowers at the beginning of this year, but it's been a little while. But yeah, the roses that I saw in the picture, you know, I'm kind of tempted to get a rose bush for next year, so you know, I've just been in the mood for a little bit, and I just kind of decided haphazardly to paint roses. Admittedly, I kind of wondered if I wanted to switch to a different flower for the painting, but yeah, I decided to stick with the roses. You know, part of me is kind of tempted to do another flower painting, but with maybe like daisies or something like that. Maybe more of a variation between species. I don't know. Not roses again. Roses are surprisingly hard to draw, honestly. At least I feel like that. They're more it's really easy to make them look a little too flat, because a lot of the roses you see in gardens and stuff, they tend to have more of a rounder shape. So yeah, that was kind of my just concern a little bit. Also, I'm gonna start adding some of the original details to these shapes. So hold on. Yeah, there's some darker dots here, so yeah, at the beginning of last stream, I did a very like rough painting / sketch for where things would be placed, so I'm trying to kind of follow that. You know, hopefully it comes out right. Yeah, as I was struggling to get into art mode this morning, you know, I did try to do my my exercises and all that, but yeah, no, I just kind of woke up, had my breakfast, just kind of got onto the computer, posted my stream ad and all that. But anyways, yeah, I kind of feel like I might have overdid it with this. I don't know, I'm just not feeling how dark this black area is. I'm gonna blend it out with this blue and see how that goes. You know, I kind of wonder how many people like to stream their abstract art, because I feel like a lot of the time with abstract, you're kind of just reacting to what you already put down, or at least with the more expressionist type of stuff, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, admittedly, that takes a bit more concentration, and it's kind of hard to yap about what you're doing sometimes. Of course, I know I just need to yap about the actual pieces a bit more. Oh god, sorry, I overblended a little bit. But yeah, maybe more of a navy blue instead of this like very, very almost black color. Honestly, it looks black right here, but that's probably because it's like by far the darkest color here. Of course, I was like very, very close to the actual bottom of the value section of my little color wheel thingamabobs. It's not really the wheel, it's more the square. Okay, but yeah. So I'm going to take this kind of grayish blue and I'm just going to put out the edge of the vine. Maybe it'll make things look a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. Yeah, don't do that. Undo it. Undo. Undo. Okay. Oh yeah, and I wanted to work on this stuff. So it's probably just going to be... Yeah, I feel like today's piece is just going to be me hopping around. Also, I never blended out the lighter sections of this rose, so... Yeah, I'll have to work on that a bit later. And I'll probably also need to add highlights and whatnot to the flowers. We'll see how that goes later on, though. Okay. So maybe I'll actually make it a little more purpley, too. Maybe. How about gray? We'll lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, I can mix it in with what's already here. Maybe put it next to the flowers. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it looks okay. Huh. Okay, like lower the saturation here. Hold on a moment. Just gonna hide that. Gonna take the color from the original. Nope. Take the color from the original. Accidentally turned on the other thing. Okay. Maybe this might be a bit better. Okay. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Okay. Okay. So anyways. So... But yeah, I'll have to also try to clean up this vine when I'm further along, I think. Because it does look very, very messy. Okay. So, yep, kind of just mix. I'm gonna let some of the original, or this initial brighter blue kind of pop out. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's starting to look a little bit better. But yeah, so as I said before, I would like to do another garden theme piece. Maybe with like some brighter, cheerier colors too. You know, throughout the past couple of months, I did have the urge to mess with more warm colors. I guess maybe not quite that strong of an urge, you know, at least back during the summertime. Yeah, nowadays I've been kind of just wanting to work with this specific color scheme, but I think now that I'm doing it, I feel a little more free, I guess you could say. I'm free! Or like free from the need to do it. Okay. And yeah, I'm just putting some of this darker color up here, try to make it a little more interesting. And yeah, as I mentioned before, I want to throw in some more of the reddish color, so I'm going to lower the opacity of my my current brush. I'm just going to kind of mix it into this corner. And I'm going to mostly keep hints of red up onto the higher areas, just because there's a lot of red in the bottom already, so yeah, it's just sort of a way to keep some level of visual balance, I guess. And also, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Glad you like what you see here. Okay. But yeah. Oh! What was that? Sorry. I just heard a noise I'm not quite familiar with. But yeah, thanks again for the follow. Oh yeah, it's just a... Sorry, the follower goal. That's probably what made that noise. Yep. Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, it's just the thing that I kind of technically already reached the goal, but someone decided to unfollow, which is... It's not the end of the world, but... Yeah, that's probably... I guess I kind of forgot, so... But yeah, so I'm glad you like what you saw here. Or at least enough to follow. Okay. Okay, sorry. Just blanking out already. I'm gonna bring out this shape a bit more with this kind of a seed-looking thing. I'm not sure how I would describe the shape. Kind of a pill slash seed slash whatever. And alright. And I'm probably gonna make another one over here. Yeah, I think the issue with this one right here is not quite oriented how I want it to be yeah, it's just the angle's a little bit off. Should probably be shooting a little more towards the side. So, alright. Okay. So yeah, just try to fix the shape. And yeah, clean this up. It's not really cleaning it up. I just feel like I'm just making it messier. Okay, so zoom back out. Okay. Maybe next January I can probably try messing with abstract again, because I'm gonna try doing more hand cam streams. Hand cam, sorry. Try to speak. But yeah, I had the webcam for a while now, but I just needed I never got around to buying a webcam stand, sorry. Oops. But yeah, so my plan is to do like paintings with acrylic pens, because I want to try giving acrylic pens a chance as well. Like, they were kind of interesting a little bit, but I don't know, I've been seeing like the brush tip pens, and I think that's something that I could like kind of vibe with a little bit, because it's a little bit of the experience with painting, because you can probably like blend them out a little bit, but they also have the convenience of pens, so I don't have to take up as much space to kind of use them. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna be waiting until after January, of course, or not after January, but at least until January. And maybe I can like start off with a acrylic ink base. So by the way, fun fact, I used to mostly do traditional art. Of course, my jump between traditional and digital has been kind of a back and forth throughout the years, because I do find digital to be a lot more convenient for me, especially since I tend to share my artwork online, and so I always kind of struggled with taking photos of my art, but there was also like many years where I just kind of wasn't able to do digital art because of my tablet wouldn't work with the computer, so I just kind of go back to traditional, or just didn't have a tablet. And when using the mouse is kind of a big struggle, so let's be honest. I know other people can do it or can handle it, but I don't have that strength, honestly. But yeah, also I was in I was in community college in the art program, so it was mostly traditional art for there, so. But yeah, eventually I was able to move on, or like try to solve the issue, so I went back to digital art and all that. Also, there's an ad break coming, by the way, just fair warning. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily need to take a break already, so I'll probably just be screwing around here. I usually try to align my breaks with the ad breaks, so I think the next break I'll be kind of hopping away. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, trying to remember what I'm talking about, but yeah, so traditional art. I hope to do more of it this next year. But yeah, I'll be focusing on acrylic paint pens, and I'll probably try to work with my acrylic inks too. You know, try to start it off as a base and then go over it with the pens. So yeah, so my previous attempts with abstract art, that was actually done with acrylic ink, so, and I try to treat it a bit like watercolor. I just kind of decided that I prefer the inks because they're more permanent after they dry. So technically the watercolors, they're supposed to be considered permanent after they dry, but you know, it's pretty easy to reactivate them, and then you can get like water blooms, and if you're not careful, it can get kind of messy. You know, I know that there's people out there who like that kind of mess, but yeah, I'm someone who likes to be a little more on the careful side. Okay, I'm also adding a cleaner line to the edge right there, kind of like how it was with the original version. And I'm also adding a lighter line on this edge. Maybe like clean up the edge right here, it's a little too messy. And yeah, I'll be putting those violet dots back in. So hopefully they look okay. Part of me feels like this is a little bit muddy. I don't know, maybe if I try to add some dots with this like really dark color, that way it might balance the piece out again. But I'll have to see for the time. I'll have to wait and see. Right now I'm just gonna get these dots back in. Okay, so we got that in. And then we'll get this in. And I'm trying to make the circles more circular. Technically I can do it with the tool, but you know, I kind of like that sort of hand-drawn look to it. Yeah, so I don't know, I just feel like perfect circles will kind of clash with the general piece. Of course I say that like I didn't use the line tool just now, but yeah, I'm just really bad at straight lines, so. But I can do a circle pretty well. I think my circles look okay, so that's I'm more confident in the circles. I know that with a lot of people, it's painterly versus clean can be very much a preference. Okay. And I'll probably use the line tool for the edges right here once I get them back in. Actually, I might be a little bit of a, you know, not sure if I would call it lazy, but I guess maybe a little bit lazy. Not really a big deal, but I'm gonna go in with the line tool here, and I have it on separate layers, so that way I don't have to like worry about kind of messing it up. So that kind of goes with the dark vines, but okay, that's a bit of a tangent. Sorry. Okay, I need a, yeah, so the these rose petals right here are getting a little too close to the line, and that creates a tangent. I'm not always super concerned with tangents and stuff. I don't always care about my art being perfect, but I don't know. I feel like tangents here would be kind of a mess, and also the ad breaks, it's gonna happen like just about now, so fair warning again. Okay, probably be taking a nice sip of my water and coffee. Gotta make sure to hydrate, all that good stuff. Okay. And I guess I can do these, blend out this flower a little bit, because I did not get around to that. Yep, to your heart's content, it's all good. Yeah, it's fair enough. Sometimes I yap a little too much and my coffee goes cold, which is very tragic, I know. But yeah, so I'm glad you like the yapping. Okay. Yeah, I'm not... Okay, there's the ad break. Okay. But yeah, so... I don't know if you're stuck behind the ad wall, so... Part of me is a little bit worried about yapping too much. Just trying to decide if I should yap about the flowers again, or just kind of keep yapping about the traditional art. Maybe I could talk a little bit about oil painting, but I haven't oil painted in a very long time. And thank you for the lurk, Spaghetti. I appreciate it. I used to do a lot of oil painting back in community college, because I was part of took all like the painting classes. So there's like, they offered 4 classes, and I basically took all of them. And I spent a very long time in the painting studio, because with how some of my classes were set up, I would decide to kind of spend all my time on the campus. And so I would spend like hours and hours in the painting studio. And that way I could just get my paintings done, because I'm also a very, very slow person when it comes to art. I'm faster now, but yeah, back then I was like very, very slow. And I think a big issue with that was because of the forms. Okay. I see. Yep. Okay, sorry, I just read Deadpool. Got stuck behind the ad wall. Fair enough. Okay. I'll just type in the chat for them. Okay, now I'll chug all my coffee. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, in community college, my main medium was definitely oils. I would say oils, at least for once I got into painting. I'm probably going to repeat everything I said for Deadpool, so... Okay. Anyways, gonna take some water too. Okay. Ah, man, I need a better cushion for my... Sometimes I wonder if I need a better cushion for my butt. I'm using a throw blanket as my cushion, because I have an older desk chair, and it's not always a big concern, but today it is kind of hurting me. Welcome back. Yeah, sometimes the ad window is a little bit off, so I'm not the best at predicting it, but yeah, so welcome back. I was just yapping a little bit about how I used to mostly do oil painting back when I was in community college, and I would spend a lot of time doing oil painting because it was just kind of a slow poke with painting. Back then, I didn't really spend that much time practicing my forms. My forms and my perspective, and I think that gave me a lot of trouble for years and years. because it took a long time to get the things right, looking right, but of course I'm still pretty slow today, but yeah. Yeah, if you sit for extended periods, a butt pillow or a comfy chair is a godsend. Yes, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, my chair is like pretty old and the cushion is pretty worn out, so yeah, maybe I should look for a cushion that could go on there. I guess that would probably be a good idea. I'm also kind of wondering about a cat bed for my cat, because for a little while, probably like 2 months actually, I kind of just left my suitcase sitting on the ground in my bedroom, because I do everything in my bedroom, by the way, and my cat used to really love like sleeping on that suitcase, which was kind of cute, but I guess part of me kind of prefers when like she sleeps on my bed, because she's more likely to cuddle with me. Of course, I'm not on my bed as much, but yeah, I feel like she would probably like a cat bed in the bedroom. You know, try to be a nice cat owner and all that. But yeah. At least this current chair is still like a lot more comfortable than the stool I had to sit on for oil painting. Because my one issue with the painting class is that the seating was really uncomfortable. You know, I still stuck around in there for like hours and hours, of course. Of course, I would also like take more time to just kind of like pace around. Like, I would pace around the studio if the class isn't going on, and a lot of the time, at least during the autumn, I would pace around the campus. So there's like this big trail that goes around the campus, and I would like kind of walk along that, and I also like kind of pace around some of the different buildings. Yeah, I like walked around everywhere because I had my class. I would often have my classes kind of set up like there would usually be a night class, and so on days where with that night class, I would just like walk around everywhere. I would just kind of wait for it. But yeah, it's kind of my experience. Yeah, I think I definitely paced around more when I was before the painting classes, because I didn't really have a proper headquarters, quote unquote. Like, I was able to keep a lot of my stuff in the painting class, and but before that I had to kind of keep everything in my car, so I was more likely to just run around everywhere. But yeah, I don't really do that as much nowadays. I know I should probably go out and take more walks though, but yeah, I kind of just, as I said before, I do most of my stuff in my bedroom, so, because I'm no longer in school. But yeah, I don't know if you're like a heavy pacer or not, but I think I've generally been a heavy pacer. Nowadays, when I don't pace as much as I said before, but thinking about it now, I do tend to pace around if I'm able to like I'll put my headphones into and just kind of listen to music, and then that's when I'll pace around. But I don't know, I've been thinking about how I need to go outside more, but yeah, it's kind of hard to do it at this time of year. It's been getting very cold, so yeah, maybe a bit late to be thinking that. But yeah. Definitely more of a homebody than I used to be. Of course, part of me is also tempted to go to the bookstore, but I don't really need to be buying anything right now, so I'm generally a chill person. I think going out for a walk for an hour helps, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, hello Storm, thank you for coming here. I'm just, let me show you what I'm working on right now. I'm doing this, rose piece. Also, the canvas is actually flipped, but... yeah, I'm slowly but surely working on this. I think part of me is trying to focus more on the background, but I got kind of sucked into this, purple flower right here. But yeah, how are you? How's your day going, by the way? I was also just kind of reminiscing about my old, my time back when I was, still studying and I was still in, like, a community college. Also, I'm just gonna go back to working on the background. How I used to just kind of walk around everywhere. Now, I'd spend a lot of time in the painting studio, but I also spent a lot of time just kind of walking around. Oh yeah, especially with going to the coffee shop and on campus. I went there a lot. I definitely went to that coffee shop a lot. Because they had like this kind of a deal going on where if you buy one of their thermos, you can actually like get the coffee half off. So yeah. I'm doing fine. I was watching videos to rest and might work on something of mine in a bit. I see. That's cool. Hope you're able to rest up properly. And the arch is really blossoming into something beautiful. Sorry for the plant pun. Oh. Yeah, I kind of noticed that little pun right there. It's fine. I'm not the punniest person in the world, but I'll let that pun slide. Okay. But yeah. Kind of just trying to bring in the shapes back. Oh, and there's the posture check. Okay. I'll try to work on that. Actually, I'm kind of wondering if I should fix my cushion right now, since I was kind of complaining about my butt earlier. I'm sure as a gardener, you heard a lot of plant puns. I guess that's true. Honestly, I don't think I hear that many in general, which I can't really complain too much about, but yeah, I definitely hear them here and there. Okay. Sorry if the model's going wonky. I'm just gonna fix this. Yeah, just kind of big. My throw blanket is just kind of a big wad right now, so. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of folding it up, making a nice square again. Okay. But yeah, I had this chair for like years now, so oops. I think the price of it was only like $50. Cause it wasn't too expensive. But yeah, I did try to like, I think maybe about a year ago I tried to look into some new chairs, but man, like proper office chairs, those are expensive. I cannot afford those. So I'm just kind of sticking with my current chair. But yeah. Yep. But, you know, at least this chair serves me well. I'm not witty enough to make puns unless they're ironically bad, I see. Yeah, me too. I'm not the wittiest person in the world. That's kind of why I don't really make a lot of jokes on stream. Like, part of me wishes I could be a bit funnier, but yeah, I'm just not a funny person, so... kind of just gave up on cracking jokes most of the time. Okay. Just gonna... adding some more shapes here. Oops, sorry if you hear anyone in the background. I'm probably gonna only go on for like maybe 4 hours at most, by the way. Just I'm probably gonna have to be the person that gets dinner tonight, so yeah, I probably won't. But yeah. So I don't want to leave the other person waiting for too long. Okay. Also, I'm just kind of like, at this point, I'm just kind of throwing colors around. As I said before, I feel like or at least with my personal experience with abstract, it's just kind of I try to be a little more reactive to what's already on the canvas, so. Okay. Make them wait! Make them suffer! I see. I mean, that's okay. I tend to get hungry around, like, 5 anyways, so... Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to... What do I do next? Not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this, line right here. Sorry, like, I'm just kind of noticing it. Actually, don't put it down yet. I'll probably try to bring this line back. I don't know if I want it to be as dark as it is, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hurt. Okay. But maybe I can, like, make this edge right here a bit darker to kind of just make it pop out a bit more. But yeah. I don't know if any of you guys have, like, tried abstract art before. I think for a long time I never was really that concerned with it, but there is, like, a lot of cool abstract out there, so I thought I'd try to give it more of an honest chance. Especially with, like, the balance of colors and brush strokes. But yeah. So, and sorry if I repeat myself a lot, but there's a... yeah, I tried to give it a chance earlier this year because I wanted to... I thought it might help with my compositions and stuff, maybe to let myself be a little more free in my painting. You know, I do feel like I managed to kind of achieve that earlier this year, but I don't know. And, oh, there's a dad joke for you. What's an introvert's favorite plant? Not sure. What's the favorite plant? A wallflower! Ha ha ha. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, I guess I... Ha ha ha. Sorry. That's kind of clever. Sorry, I don't laugh very much. I tried and I failed spectacularly because I am a logical person and... or too much of a logical person to understand and enjoy meanings of non-concrete objects and paintings. I see. Yeah, it's a bit of a slow process to kind of get yourself into the mindset of it. You know, now I'm... Sorry, it's like, part of me is like thinking... Part of me is thinking if the wallflower is like an actual thing or not. Like, I'm sure it came from somewhere, but... I don't think it's like an actual plant. It's probably just referring to something else. But yeah, as I said before, it's I think I kind of had that challenge before, but I think you kind of have to like slowly break down the basic forms and whatnot, and just try to get used to working with the shapes, with just like basic shape language and curves and whatnot. But yeah, I think part of my I guess another way to describe my experience is just trying to teach myself like form language and to be a little more free with it. I know there's an artist I like that's kind of... I know with Frank Frazetta, he was a like kind of a very popular fantasy artist back in the day, and he was very influential. And I know that in his technique, he would use more of a some more design aspects with the composition and figures. Oh, Frank, yep, him. And he would like make a lot of the major shadows like these dark blocks, and then so there would be like these very big shapes with them. I feel like there's a lot of people who kind of describe that thing better, but man, I don't stand a ghost of a chance with my material here. Yep, I caught that other pun, and it's okay. I'm not a lot of jokes just kind of like peeing off against my head. But maybe I can like grab a piece just to see if I can describe what I'm talking about. So Frazetta. Actually, I'm like, oh yeah, let's grab a piece. Like, hopefully I can get something that's not I just remember he uses a lot of nudes, so I'm gonna have to be kind of careful with that. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Remember she... Trying to decide which one. Okay, there's a lot of examples that won't get me banned, so... I also think so. Okay. You know what, I'll take this one. And let's get back to OBS so I can see you guys. Okay, Control V. Oh my god. Okay, maybe not this one. Delete. Sorry about that. Did not expect the resolution. Part of the reason why I chose that one is just because I remember going to a fantasy show and a couple years ago, and yeah, there was an art gallery that was just fantasy art, and I remember seeing that specific piece. So, but yeah, maybe this one will go better. Okay, not as tidy, but yeah, you can kind of see all these like very strong blocking out of shadows. I understand what you're saying. Yes, yeah. Sorry about that. And they're kind of like these very general shapes. It's not just the black too. You can kind of see with these arms right here. All of this is just kind of like one shape. And I think that was kind of what I was hoping, the mindset that I could get into with the abstract art. Because as you can see, like a lot of these figures are kind of obscured. So I kind of, in a way, kind of like started breaking down that idea with maybe using figures and stuff. So I try to, in a way, I was kind of like trying to train myself to see shape language through just general shadow. You know, I feel like I should probably write down some of these ideas so when I try to explain it to people, it's not just I don't have to worry about it being just gibberish. Frank's art was the kind of art you would see painted on a rock and roll van in the 80s. Yeah. Yeah, it's I can see that. Yeah, I know he's like very famous. I was kind of wondering if his art showed up on metal albums or not, but I know there's a famous like surrealist artist whose art was used on like metal albums and stuff, but I'm not sure about Frank. Yeah, the artist I'm thinking about was like a Polish artist. And I can never like pronounce his name properly, so. But I know it's like a lot of YouTubers were kind of like talking about this dude back in a few years back, because they would describe him as like the nightmare artist, but yeah, unfortunately I just can't pronounce this name properly, so. Like my brain genuinely cannot comprehend the name, and I feel kind of bad about it, but I just can't, man. Nope. Sorry, thinking about it now, it's I could probably just type it up for you guys, but if you're interested, of course. I don't know, I feel like I kind of went off topic there. But I think he used a lot of crazy shapes as well. But I think his like figures and forms kind of flowed more into each other as well. I just made a clip. Congratulations, you're a teacher now. Oh, thank you for the clip, Storm. I appreciate it. But yeah, I actually got a few art books of that. Oops, oh god. Sorry, I just went over this. But the reason I know I can like at least get the name is just because I have art books from that guy. Of course, I had to like kind of walk out and grab the books to show it, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what kind of art you guys are into, but I'm actually kind of like inspired by a lot of sort of surrealist, kind of spooky artists who kind of do a lot of spooky stuff. Of course, I don't think I really captured that vibe with my own stuff. As you can see with the pretty roses, it's not really not quite the direction I went to, as you don't think so. Maybe with some of my other art, but yeah. Yeah, it definitely was more of a... Yeah, I definitely did not capture that spooky feeling, I don't think. I took a look at your Vegan, and you have a great style. Thank you. Glad you took a look at the Vegan. But yeah, I appreciate it. I have some other... I actually have a Kara, by the way, if you just want to... If you want a better look at my stuff. But I don't know if it's as easy to access. I have a link tree, actually. I think there should be a link tree kind of in my About section, maybe, and that's... you might have a better chance of seeing my stuff there. I love art, but I am a very apathetic person. The only art that calls to me is either fan art or something I already understand, or romanticism. It's the only art movement that makes me feel anything. I don't know why. I see. Admittedly, I think with romanticism, the things like emotions were very prominent there, so... I guess if there's a movement that would kind of bring out passion in someone, it probably would be that. So I guess with the mention of romanticism, there's an artist called Gustave Doré, and he's actually he did like a lot of black and white prints back during the Romantic period. So if there's an artist you'd like to check out, he's a very prominent, or I'm not sure if he was prominent, but I feel like he would be prominent because he's just how much art he did. Like, he did a lot of prints, like a lot of prints. Of course, it wasn't just him working, but he had assistants as well, like a lot of historical artists did. But yeah, I think it said that he did maybe like over 10,000 prints. But he did a lot of prints based on kind of famous works like Dante's Inferno and some fables. So I don't know, I just thought I'd probably drop the recommendation if you were interested. But yeah, I have an art book of that guy too. By the way, for anyone who's new here, I like to collect art books, so I haven't been collecting as many of them lately just because of, you know, money and stuff, but yeah, I have a decent collection of art books. You know, another thing I could do with hand cam streams is just show off my books. Show off my rocks, show off my books. Not sure if people would want to see it, but yeah, I got a lot of stuff. Okay. Also, I was just spreading around this pink color. Pretty sure that color was originally from like the base plan. Yeah, like this orb. You can see some of these orbs around. These were just there to kind of place down my flowers, but... Okay. And I'm just gonna probably put down some more of this pink as well, just because I think it looks would be kind of interesting to add. My favorite romanticism artist is William Turner, to be honest, I see. I think I might have heard of him. Maybe. I'm not always the best at remembering my artist, but I tend to focus more on the Art Nouveau movement, and that's more of a decorative art movement, so. But was he one of the people who did, or did he do like a lot of watercolor pieces? I could be wrong. I love the backgrounds behind the flowers, to be honest. I don't know what they are supposed to represent, but I personally see halos or waves. I see. Yeah, this is just kind of a little more abstracted, so, you know, they're just kind of like forms. Actually, when I was kind of building up this specific part, I was actually kind of reminded of maybe like a coral or something, like some sort of coral, but that's just me personally. But it's kind of interesting that you see it. Yes. So one of the lessons that I tried to learn with abstract is just keeping my backgrounds a little more vague. So it's I can be like less concerned with details. Okay. Okay. I love the major theme of water in your artworks. Thank you. Yeah, I used to actually be like really into merman and stuff. Not as much nowadays, but yeah, definitely like back in the day, I was a big merman fan. Like I would be genuinely, like I was genuinely obsessed. So yeah, merman and maybe like general monster boys, but merman specifically. Actually, I was kind of tempted to make my model a merman, but it was a very tight competition between a merman and a ghost, and I just that's actually why I chose the drawn ghost theme, because it would be kind of like taking parts of both worlds. So I guess in a way, you got a little bit of learn a little bit of my process. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of I keep throwing this pink around because I kind of like having the warmth in here. Might have to stretch out sorry, I just noticed Storm's message. I'm gonna have to stretch out the chat a little bit. No, the watercolor artists were impressionists, I believe. I believe William Turner used oil, and what I love about him is that he gradually made his painting more and more hazy. It almost feels like his own perception of space got less and less concrete. I think he had something like dementia or some perception issue, like bad eyesight or schizophrenia, and that made the paintings become less and less real. I see. That's pretty interesting. Though I do want to say that I think the Impressionists were mostly oil painters. But yeah, that's interesting. But I know there was like a famous artist that from around that time period that might have that was more of a watercolorist. So that's kind of why I asked. Now that I think about it, I'm kind of wondering who were more of the watercolorist. But yeah, I know the Impressionists were like famous for like plein air oil painting, so like painting with oils outside. And I know for like a long time, watercolors were usually used predominantly for sketching and a lot of botanical art, so like more like a science field, I guess. I think he might mean Monet. I don't know. I love his art, and he is a watercolor impressionist artist. Yeah, he's not a watercolor though. I don't think he was a watercolorist. No. Yeah, he painted a lot of water lilies and stuff, but he was an oil painter. Like maybe he did some watercolors, but no, he was not a watercolorist. Yeah, I'll just Google it to check, but yeah, I used to be a lot more into the Impressionist movement, so medium. Yeah, he used mostly oils, so I think I actually went to an art show. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe we're thinking about the water lilies, because sorry, I forgot my art history. It's okay, we all do it sometimes. But William Turner, I'm just gonna look up William Turner real quick, just a little bit of a mental break. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm just gonna, sorry, I'm like Googling everything. What movement was focused on what? But yeah, I think most artists were still like sticking around with oil painting for a long time. So, okay. I'm not sure. You know, it just kind of giving me a lot of different answers. But yeah, so yeah, I was thinking about the art lilies because I knew he wanted to paint moments and do so. He needed to be super quick, so I think I went like, oh yeah, watercolors are quick. That makes sense. Yeah, he did a lot of alla prima, so at least I think that was generally the case. So yeah, it's he was a oil painter, so. Technically, you can be quick with oil paintings. It's just you're going to be a lot messier with it, or it's harder to be more precise. So, I know that Van Gogh did a lot of alla prima too. So, yeah. All right. Anyways, I'm just gonna, sorry, I'm like trying to be a little bit less distracted, but yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of movements from like around the 1800s in terms of art that I'm kind of a fan of, so. Yeah, I researched it a bit back in the day. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just gonna kind of zoning out. You know, it's like with the mention of watercolors, I keep thinking about like a Beatrix something. I know I'm screwing up her name too, but she was also a famous artist. But she was like the person who did the Peter Rabbit series. And she was yeah, I feel like she's kind of off topic, to be honest, but yeah, she's kind of the one that I keep thinking of. Because I know a little bit about her because she's my grandma was like I think she's like one of my grandma's favorite artists, so yeah. Okay, trying to think about what I'm doing here. Okay, I feel like I want to throw around some more of this really dark blue a bit more. Of course I noticed an issue on the side right here, so I'm just gonna keep zooming in and out like crazy. Just gonna clean it up over here. Maybe. What? Yeah, just come on. Sorry. Yeah, just kind of gonna get all the way to the edge. But yeah, I just have these lines on the side. Okay, so anyways. Yeah, I'm just thinking that I want to add some more of the darker colors to the... And hopefully then maybe that balances out this giant vine, because I feel like it's very, very prominent. Oh yeah, another art movement that I was thinking of. I realized that Art Nouveau had a lot of watercolors in it. I don't know, it's just... I kept like shooting the idea down in my head, because it's I know that Art Nouveau wasn't like specifically involved with watercolors, but it was actually like involved with like almost every medium, because it's as I said before, it's very much design oriented, but it's like basically it's yeah, as I said, decorative, but There's also a, it's very important for like the the movement of illustrators. Oh my gosh. Because I know that, yeah, there's a lot of like famous illustrators from that time that did a lot more of a fantasy, sort of fantasy themed artworks. So also I'm just going to be working on this, trying to clean up this vine a bit more. But yeah, it's, my brain kept thinking about like architecture and like glass work, so, and jewelry. But yeah, I almost forgot, which is kind of funny because I have Art Nouveau watercolors on my wall right here in front of me. Yeah, I have a couple of art pieces. I have a couple of art pieces hanging on my computer wall, and I just realized it. I've been thinking I need more like art pieces on here, but yeah, there's a artist called Edmund Dulac. He's and I really like his stuff. But yeah, he's I understand that yes, Art Nouveau was very important. A very important movement, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people really like Art Nouveau, so. Funny enough, we didn't really talk about it that much in my art history class, because I took a couple of art history classes back in community college. It's a 4-hour class and like the late into the night, but yeah, I don't think we really talked that much about Art Nouveau in there. But I know that the movement was like influential. So I don't know, it's important to me because I like it, you know. I also always had like a attachment to like fairy tales, more so as like when I was like when I was like little, because I really liked I was really into fairy tales as a kid. But yeah. Also, sorry to get distracted again, but I feel like I'm just gonna show. I just feel like showing you the art piece that I have on my wall. So, actually, maybe should I? Okay. Don't report me to Twitch. But, you can't really see anything too detailed, but yeah. Okay. The mermaid. Edmund Dulac. It'll be okay. Let's see. Actually, there's a lot of really nice stuff here. Okay. Just gonna copy image. I'm just gonna go over here. Control V. Just gonna, okay. Just to be safe. Tangents are welcome here. Yeah. I'm sure it makes things a little more interesting for the stream. I just, sometimes I get a little bit distracted. Okay, I like fairy tales, but I was always fascinated by the creatures, the monsters, and the weird things in there. Yeah. I just liked fairy tales in general. Of course, I was also really into The Little Mermaid, so as I said earlier, I used to be really into mermaids and mermen. But yeah, this is the art piece I have against the wall. The colors are a little bit different. I feel like the colors are a little bit better on my prints, but yeah. You can kind of see all these like really crazy details though, and it's I kind of hope I'm able to get something like this in the future, now that I think about it. But yeah, so admittedly with the actual representational details, I kind of struggle with that still. I don't know, it's just a sort of a brain space that I kind of I don't really pull off very much. Just kind of keep throwing stuff in the piece, I mean to say. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to finish off my coffee. It is ice cold now, so Maybe not ice cold, but it's quite cold. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna continue cleaning this up, so. Okay. Okay, I'm just cleaning this up. But yeah, monsters are cool too. I'm not entirely sure if I was actually into the fairy tale monsters specifically, though, now that I think about it. I know I was really into monsters at some point. Probably as I got older, actually. So. I don't know, it's been a while since I was a kid, you know, and not exactly a young person anymore. Okay, what am I doing? Okay. Back in my day. Back in my day. Okay. So anyways, try to clean this up. Yeah, I might be going into the boring parts of the piece to clean up. Oh god. After I clean this up a little bit, I might actually also go back to working on the roses for a bit. Kind of just try to jump back and forth. But yeah, I feel like I could bring out some more of that ambient occlusion, so maybe. I guess the ambient occlusion isn't too bad, actually. Maybe I should bring out the highlights, and that could bring out the darker parts. Back in my day, we grounded flowers and used our own blood for paint. I see. No! You younglings are scared of infections. How dare you! Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, sorry, it's just like... Now I'm thinking about using blood for paint. Not that I plan on using blood for paint. I'm just trying to think about how that would run. I know you're joking, though. I used to use blood as the pigment and tears as the binder. I don't know, I don't think tears would act. That's probably more the medium, not the binder. Okay. Yeah, the salt of the tears, that gives an interesting effect to the paints. Okay. Gonna make this a bit thicker. Poop as the binder, oh god. Oh god. Yep, poop. Poop paint. Yeah, I heard that there's someone who used poop as a paint. I don't know who, I'm not gonna look it up, but... Yeah, there's nothing like looking up a historical document and realizing that poop is was essential. Sorry. Okay, we're getting a little bit gross here, but yeah, that just made me think about like a historical document. Like, I used to watch some historical documentaries. It just kind of like gave me flashbacks. I know there's like a... Like in the olden times, you need like people back then. They needed to kind of, if they were making like a housing out of branches or wood, they kind of like logs. They needed to have this like kind of material that kind of like plugs up the wall, the holes in the walls and all that. And that the material that I kind of realized that they needed to actually like put crap in there, unfortunately, because that was actually the binder. Yeah, sorry if that's gross for people, or you guys didn't want to hear about that. But yeah, that was an actual thing. Yeah, the document that I heard about it was from a series, like, It was from a British documentary series called History's Worst Jobs, I think. I don't know, that series was interesting, but yeah, this, you definitely heard about some terrible jobs. I feel like that would still, like, that's like way above the job where you had to like go down to the side of a cliff to collect the collect the eggs, though. I don't think there was like a specific job for that, for the egg collecting, but some of the stuff that's like really far back in British history, apparently. Before the prominence of chickens, people would collect eggs from the species of bird that stuck to the side of, or like nested on the side of cliffs. Oh, okay. Alright, thank you for the lurk. Sorry, hopefully the poop talk didn't chase you away. Okay. Or the heights. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I have a mild fear of heights, so... Of course, I think that fear is kind of based on stability rather than the actual heights, so... Okay. I am the conductor... Okay. Alright, I think I'm just gonna back away from the poop talk, so sorry about that, Storm. Yeah, let's just back away from the gross talk. At least for the time being. So I swear we don't normally go into the poop talk. That's for Monster Hunter? No. Okay. Yeah, I get that. I'm also very much a height scared person. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not scared of things like roller coasters, because when you're on a roller coaster, they usually like tie you down pretty well. But if I'm like climbing a ladder, which is like way lower, closer to the ground, I'm like way more nervous about that. Don't be sorry. I was just referencing Borderlands, I see. Yeah, I never played Borderlands, so that kind of flew. Admittedly, that's probably gonna fly past my head. Okay. Anyways, I think I'm gonna put some more of this, the stronger blue, just like little dashes of it. So I'm kind of focusing a little bit more on like texture right here. I don't know. Maybe try to make it a little bit darker so it doesn't stick out quite as much. Lamau, we're going to talk about natural fertilizer when killing, but oh, yep. I guess that's true. We gotta get the armor. We gotta get the armor to look cool. I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty set on my equipment. I finally managed to kill Magna Malo enough to get my my preferred glaive. So, by the way, fun fact, my glaive is... I finally got the Magna glaive. Yeah, I ended up killing him on my own again, so... You know, it was a single-player campaign, so it's not that bad, but... Yeah, I had to take him out one more time, like, and... Yeah, I managed to get him. Thankfully, it was a lot easier, but it was still kind of frustrating. Like, I was actually, like, shouting. And, like, my brother, he, like, called into my room. It's like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just like, stop it! Stop it, Magna! Stop blasting me across the battlefield. God. Yes, I understand that. I remember that when I tried to use any kind of stair, I felt like I was going to fall in any moment. I see. Yeah, I think sometimes stairs can be kind of nerve-wracking. It depends on the type of stair, though. Like, if it's something you can see through, I would feel a lot more anxious about that, but stairs that I don't actually see through, or... Yeah, basically stairs that aren't see-through, I don't mind those as much. Okay. Congrats! I need to play more. This last week I've been very busy on a very important event, which is why I didn't stream. I see. Yeah, it's fair enough. Sometimes real life kind of gets in the way. I was actually, I was like almost about to do a Wednesday stream again, but I had to like drive out my brother for like reasons, and trying to get home from getting home from work, that kind of was more stressful than I planned because there was like a train like just stopped across the road, so I had to like kind of find a way to like turn around and try to like try to make a alternative route because I just didn't want to get trapped there. So yeah, I think the road stuff that kind of stressed me out a lot more. So, and also I was hungry because I didn't get my own stuff. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to play again eventually or soon once you get your IRL stuff handled. I'm just gonna throw around this purpley color a little bit, very subtly. Okay. Yeah, and right now I'm just gonna throw around a few dots. Hopefully I don't go too crazy with this. Also, the model's going a little bit wonky. Okay. And I'm gonna drink some water. Oh, I still have coffee. Oh god. Ooh. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Realized I needed to finish that. But yeah, maybe I'll do it this week, you know. I feel like I always say it, like, oh yeah, I'm about to go back into gaming, and then I don't go back into gaming. But maybe if I make sure to get something to eat after work, I'll be able to. Maybe I can start this week. Okay, maybe. Well, maybe it's like shaking uncontrollably. Like maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I'll get back to it. Not sure if it'll be like single player Monster Hunter or just yeah, single player Monster Hunter, or if it's just going to be a Kingdoms of Amalur again. I don't know, I feel like I kind of want to play more Amalur, maybe. I don't know. Maybe flip a coin. Ugh, water. Water. By the way, there's an ad break coming in like 2.5 minutes, so I'll be taking a longer break today, so I think maybe like a minute before the ad break hits, I'll just be taking my own break, so yeah. And actually I might start working with the roses again, because I'm feeling a little bit indecisive. Just trying to think about what to do next, so. Yeah, I might mess around with some layer effects too. If you'd like me to, I could try to invite you more often to play once in a while, but it's up to you, to be honest. I mean, I'd be open to playing more, it's just I'm trying to focus more on art again for Fridays, so if we do so I'm not really sure what time we would be playing, I should say. Might actually have to aim for like a Saturday, or like we might have to like wait until like later into the night. I don't know. I'm not sure what you'd be open to. Once the ad break comes on, I might leave, to be honest. I want to work and I have been procrastinating. Haha, I see. That's fair enough. But yeah, I hope you have a good day if you choose to leave. I appreciate you coming and chatting with me, so. Yeah, so if you're off, then I hope the rest of your day goes well. Right now I'm just gonna... Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to mess with some stuff. Okay. Make this darker, actually. I have a layer set to multiply, and I'm just kind of making some strokes. Huh. Oh, this... Okay. Wondering what the heck was going on. Okay. Oh, okay, it's less than a minute, then I'm just gonna hide this, then. Okay. Yeah, I might be going crazy after the ad break, but yeah, so it's okay, I'm gonna go off now, and I'll BRB for a little, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, but yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Turn the mic off now. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I felt like it took a little bit longer than it should have. I feel like that's the case quite a bit of the time, but alright, I return. So let's see, and let's unflip the canvas. Yeah, I'm gonna try adding some highlights to the roses right now, maybe. Not sure if it should be actual highlights or just lighter, maybe brighter lights on the rim of the petals at least. I feel like that might help bring things out a bit. So I'll have it as an add glow, so hopefully it looks okay. Oops, too bright. Bong. Sorry. I try to say bong, kind of like a bright lights turning on. Probably doesn't make any sense to anyone else. Okay. But yeah. So admittedly, we're probably going to jump into the more tedious parts. Just like last week. Yeah, it's for those who don't know, it took me like 4.5 hours just to put the basic colors down onto my... I mean, not just the basic colors. I had to do the sketching and do some, yeah, just a lot of sketching. And sort of quote-unquote line art, which is technically more sketching. But I kind of had to build up all that, because I tend to blend that into the final piece, and then the base colors that I was originally I was going to go on that stream for my plan was just a 5-hour stream, but I just felt so cooked for some reason. I don't know. I feel like I haven't been able to go on for as long as I usually do. I guess it's I was kind of like ending around the 4-hour point, so it's still like a decent amount of time. But yeah, I'm kind of I've been trying to go on for like 5 hours, but yeah, I just haven't had that kind of energy for a while. I mean, I guess for that one gaming stream like a couple of weeks ago, I was able to go on that long. Yeah, the one where I was trying out different games. Yeah, that one was fun, but I think part of the reason why I was able to go on for longer is just all the different games I was trying. Basically testing out different waters, just trying to keep my mind a little more active than just kind of like hyper-focusing on the same thing. Yeah, maybe that's why. Also, I wonder if I should switch to the watercolor or the watery brush. Too big, okay. I feel like that one would probably match my preferences here a bit. I don't know, lately I've been thinking about how I need to try to not overblend things as much, because I'm a little bit bad about that, but try to keep some of the roughness in the flower or in the shapes and all that, but I don't know, part of me just likes how plain it looks, so. And this brush is definitely a lot softer. I don't know. Feels a little bit awkward for this flower. Yeah, I think I'm going to have these lights only set to 50%, and I'll probably just merge it down. Of course, I'm going to keep them strong for the time being. Yeah, just trying to make decisions and all that. So let's get some of these brighter colors up here. Okay. I'm just going to lightly brush some of this lighter color. Okay. Kind of doing it on the edges. So in a way it is a little bit of a highlight, so. Because the highlights are supposed to show up like directly where the light is hitting, so. Of course it's, I don't really know where the light source is coming from. They're just kind of bullshitting this piece. But you know how it be sometimes, you know. Okay. Also, sorry if my voice sounds a bit weaker already. It's Yeah, I don't know why, it's just my voice feels lately my voice has been feeling weaker than it has been. I don't know, maybe I should do some like actual vocal exercises too. I just feel kind of insecure about going to by myself, like, for periods of time. Like, I know it's necessary for vocal exercises, but yeah, it just feels so awkward. Okay. Anyways, let's just get some of the highlights down here. Okay. Sorry, my model's going wonky. I'm trying to rub my forehead. The forehead needs a good rubbing, though. Ugh. Sorry, just notice how good it feels to do that. Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna add a little more of a... brush a little more of this lighter color in. So I guess talking about roses again, sorry if I talked about this already, but you know, the colors that I'm thinking about are like either the white roses or maybe even like purple roses if they have any, because I'm planning on just getting them from the garden center. But yeah, I don't know. Not really sure what to go with. I know I should only like start with one rose bush to see how well it goes, because at the same time I know a lot of people like, or at least like people around me, they tend to talk about rose bushes like they're really hard, so I'm a little bit nervous about it. I feel like at least one rose bush shouldn't be too bad. Of course, I'm sure like some species or some breeds of roses are also probably just easier to take care of. I am kind of going for that like a tea hybrid, I think it's called, which is kind of like that classical rose shape that people think of. Like basically what you're seeing here. I think that's like a very, yeah, I believe that's a very specific type of rose. Yeah, I feel like a lot of other varieties, or the more natural varieties, they tend to be more of a, they actually have a different shape, which is kind of interesting to think about. I'm not really sure when the tea or the tea hybrid actually like originated. I think it might have been around the 17 or 1800. It's still a while ago, but like relatively recent, I guess, in the general timeline. Not sure what I was trying to go with there. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of big things that I want to try this next year, even though I haven't really done that good of a job this year with gardening. But I know that some of the plants that I want to look into, they would be like much more long-term, so, or long-term commitments. I don't know, maybe not long-term commitments for all of them, but rose bushes are perennial, and I guess the thing that I was thinking about was the peach trees, or the fruit trees. You know, those are a long-term commitment, but at the same time, they give you nice juicy fruit. I don't know, I feel like sunflowers are annual, like maybe. Yeah, I think they're annual generally. I was kind of hoping to like grow like those like really big sunflowers, but that like get really tall. I don't know, I thought that would be like really cool to have. But yeah, apparently you can eat the heads of sunflowers, by the way. Fun fact. I saw someone kind of like bake one online, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how good it will taste, but it is edible. I mean, people like to eat the seeds, so it's like, I guess it's not really that shocking. You know, I heard that rose plants are also edible, but I'm not sure if I'm going to eat the roses. I don't know, I've never been like a big fan of floral taste, so I know that if you let your roses kind of complete their cycle, so if you if you allow the flower to die, they'll like form these like little berries. Of course, they'll stop flowering if you let them die, but yeah, you get like these little berries, and you can eat those. But I don't know what those taste like, and maybe at the end of the next season, if things work out, maybe I can like, you know, just kind of like try one, just see what it's all about. I forgot what it's actually called, but yeah. Sorry, I'm like trying to look at my work so far. It's okay. Maybe I could like straighten the colors a little bit. Try to. Okay, let's just keep going. No, try not to take 4 hours just to do some roses. Yeah, sometimes you forget how much of a time commitment these little flowers are. Also, thank you for the raid again, Clancy. I appreciate it. How was your stream? How did your stream go, by the way? Do you want to drop any art tags? Because I do allow links in the stream. The beehive is here! The beehive is here! Yep. Thanks again for the raid. But yeah, I remember seeing what you were working on last time. Or like, not last time, like the stream. Today's stream. If you want to like post a link to it. Hello. Yep, hello, Clancy. This is, I've been trying to work more on these smaller details here, but yeah, I've been working on this piece again, so I'm hoping to get it done, at least by tonight, because I don't really want to do another stream with it. Like, I want to move on to the next stream, but yeah. Your roses are looking pretty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just adding some kind of, I'm just making the lights a bit lighter, so just kind of like working on it slowly. But yeah, I also deepened some of the darker colors in the background, so it's going to be the abstract stuff is a little more detailed. But yeah, hopefully I can get some more texture going by the end of the stream, and yeah, hopefully everything will get done. Actually, I was thinking that maybe I should like get a noise filter over here at some point, just to see what it would look like at the end, but yeah, it's because I usually have some sort of filter going on. Sadly, it's a comic book panel, so I won't be able to share it like that. Okay. But it will be part of a free comics later, so someday hopefully you'll get to see. Okay. Yeah, it's fair enough. I just wanted to know if you wanted me to share any art tags, because I don't know, just to see if you wanted to like self-promo a little bit. Like raiders, or like if someone rates me, I'm okay with letting them self-promo a little bit, just so, you know, just as a little thank you. But yeah, thanks for asking. All right. But yeah, it's okay. I know you were sharing my own stuff, so I just wanted to be sure. And yes, the roses are looking pretty. Thank you. But yeah, hopefully they get done. So I was just I was adding these like lighter colors to the edge of the roses, so yeah, to kind of help bring them out a little bit. But yeah, hopefully I get this up. As I said before, I hope to get this piece done pretty soon. Just kind of like build up the background a bit more and just kind of get done. Yeah, part of me is tempted to do more floral pieces like this, but I might do that in my free time, because I do have another, as I said before, I have another piece that I was planning to do. I don't know, I'm not going to show the sketch because it still looks like really, really ugly. I started it last night, but yeah, it was just not going well. But yeah, it's supposed to be kind of themed around the transition between fall and August. So not August, oh my god, sorry, fall and winter. Yeah, Each petal feels so neatly done. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to get the forms of these roses all right, because it can be a little bit tricky to get them. Or it's like, I find roses to be a little bit of a struggle just because of the shape. I don't know. Like, I'm proud of these two right here, like these big ones, but I'm a little bit more anxious about all the other roses, admittedly. But yeah, I'm glad it looks like it's going all right, at least in your guys' opinion. So, but yeah, I'm just kind of hitting these with like sort of like a pseudo highlight. So I'm not sure if these I would consider this the proper highlights. I know it's kind of like bright right now, but I'm planning on lowering the opacity a bit and just kind of like adding it to the base colors. So of course I could probably add some more of that lighter color over here. But yeah, I just kind of been jumping around with the different colors. Yeah, up to a little bit about like flowers and plants, or like some of my plans again, but I don't think I said anything too new. I imagined wanting to do or was thinking about peach, or like getting into fruit trees as well, but I don't know, I was kind of, yeah, I think I felt like last stream I was talking about being a little more anxious about my peach seeds, because I saved some seeds from some peaches I ate earlier this year, because I know that those peaches are specifically bred for Michigan, which is where I live, but it's like my home state, which is kind of cold. So I thought this kind of decided randomly to kind of save them and plant them for myself, but I know it can be a little bit tricky with fruit trees, because a lot of those are kind of developed through grafting rather than just seeds and breeding. So yeah, I'm kind of tempted to just buy a sapling just to be safe, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, thinking about it now, I'm not really sure how I would get the fruit tree to my place, because I imagine shipping a tree is quite difficult. Oh, grafting. Totally forgot about those things. Yeah. Yeah, I know grafting is kind of a big thing for certain plants. Actually, I think a lot of roses, at least with like specific hybrid roses like this, or like the hybrid tea. I don't know, I've been trying to talk about hybrid tea. I don't know if that's the actual name for it, but yeah, I think roses are kind of developed through that. I was going to say, I see. Multicolor roses, yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I think I showed you some of some like photos of roses from last Friday, maybe, because I think you rated me last Friday. Yeah, I believe you did, because it was drawing that time. Sorry, it's sometimes my memory's a little screwy. Yep, they were pretty, yeah. But yeah, I was kind of talking a little bit about how I was thinking about maybe like either white roses or even like lavender roses. I don't know if they sell lavender roses at the garden center that I live close to, but I feel like they did. Like, they had a lot of different colors, but I just didn't really take a photo of any purple roses. But I don't know, I'll have to see next year, because they're not selling roses right now. It's winter time is coming, so yeah, I was actually kind of sad to see that they didn't have any actual seeds, because I think I missed out on those. But yeah, no one's selling seeds this time of year. So yes, I think it was last Friday. Lol, my memory is unreliable all the time. Yeah, same. Honestly, same. But yeah, it was probably last Friday, because I was gaming Tuesday, like the past week and a half before that stream was gaming. So But yeah. Sorry, I was like blanking out. But yeah, they don't have any seeds or trees at the garden center. They seem to have like some house plants though, which is I didn't get any house plants, but I was kind of tempted. They actually have amaryllis too, which I just learned about, which is kind of a winter blooming plant. And I guess a lot of people keep those inside their homes. So like now I'm tempted to get those, but I don't really need an amaryllis. But you know, I did get tulips from there though, so like some tulip bulbs. So will be growing sometimes in the next like 4 or 5 months. Those will be popping up. So I didn't know there were seeds for roses too. I thought you would plant a little rose planting. I don't know the right word. Tulips, yeah. Yeah, there's seeds for roses, but I don't think you get the hybrid type though. You get the type that actually like formed it, or like, sorry, my voice, oh god. You would get like a rose that would probably look closer to how it looked in nature, so. Because I know this like form you see right here, these don't occur naturally, so. Yeah, I guess you're probably right about the planting, but. Yeah, the roses I was looking at, those are like already like bushes, nice like little bushes. But yeah, I got some tulips planted a little while back. I think it was Saturday, yeah. Because initially I wanted to plant them on Friday, but then I kind of streamed for a little too long, so it was dark outside. So yeah, I made sure to plant them last Saturday before it got too cold. So yeah, I was trying to remember the day, but kind of forgetting. But yeah, it was Saturday, so. And I think I was screwing around with something else. So yeah, I was digging up more onions because I managed to find a few more, but I think I found all the onions by now, or all the onions that I want to bother harvesting. Some of them weren't very successful, but admittedly, for the amount of onions I planted, I didn't really get that many, but didn't really get that many in return. So, because I planted like 200 onion bulbs, I think I only found like less than a quarter of those. So, unfortunately, yeah, I kind of failed by the end of sorry, oh my god, I failed by the end of around like July. So, I might catch a cold too. Haha, I got a runny nose by the end of stream. Oh no. Yeah, I guess it's that kind of season. I feel like my voice kind of fails me, even when I'm not sick though, to be honest. Yeah, I just have a weak voice. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted from the art piece. Try to scribble on some more of these later colors. Your voice is great, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't talk very much in real life, so because of that, I think I just have a much weaker larynx than most people, so. And while I think it's stronger, I realized I need to do more vocal exercises on my own, so. And hopefully that kind of helps strengthen my voice a bit more. Oh. Sorry, someone. Okay. I think someone got banned by a bot, so. Oh, same. Streams are where I open up sometimes way too much, I see. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by Sari bot. It probably is an actual, I don't know, I just want to make sure it's not like someone who got falsely banned, but yeah, it's not even showing what the message was, so. Okay. I mean, Sari bot is usually pretty effective, but yeah. Like, whoops. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't a real person. Yeah, I think Stream Elements might have got one of my regulars one time, so it's like I try to be a little bit careful. But yeah, I know how you feel about streams. Yeah, I just usually don't have the time to talk with people, at least when I'm at work, and I just don't really socialize otherwise, so yeah, I'm not a social person. You know, I think streaming kind of helped with that a little bit, but yeah, I think I'd still say nowadays I'm still not very social. Kind of keep to myself a lot of the time. But yeah, I can get what you mean with that. Okay. I'm gonna drink water. Sorry, my model is freaking out. I go to work just to work. I try to sneak out of lunchtime gossips and all. Lol. I sometimes deliberately try not to get into conversations. I see. Yeah, I can kind of get that. Honestly, I just have like so many, I have so much stuff to do that I just don't really talk with anyone in general, so.
This is where your
yeah,
begins.
I just don't have the time.
I won't be there to see it, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
But yeah, sometimes the gossip stuff, it makes me kind of uncomfortable. Okay. I find artists easier to talk to, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier to be able to talk with someone who has a similar interest, so. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna start. Yeah, I'm just gonna start on the purple roses. But yeah. Okay, actually I'm gonna cool this color down a little bit. Or I can make it like yellow. And then it'll just like look white on the... Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make the highlight yellow. I'll be here, gonna be lurking while I eat something before I go to bed. Okay. Alright, thanks again for the raid, and I hope you're able to eat something nice and tasty. Yeah, sorry if I seem a little bit, scattered brain. I'm just trying to... Artwork looking amazing. I love the purple, my favorite color. I see. Yeah, I like purple a lot too. Of course, I'm more of a green/turquoise person. You know, if you couldn't tell by the model color, but yeah, I'm a big fan of purple as well. Yeah, I think the purple color, like the purple roses, might be the prettiest in terms of the actual color. I mean, I still like these two the most right here, but yeah. Of course, I think I like all the colors actually. I don't know, maybe not the pink, but the other colors in general. And of course, with pink, I think I'm just kind of I think I just have a harder time like shading pinks now that I think about it. But yeah, have a good meal. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Oh yeah, now that I think about it, I was on for those who don't know, I was on Clancy's stream a little bit before I started my own stream, and I think I was mentioning I know I mentioned like zinnias on stream, but I kind of had to hop off before I could like go into depth about those zinnias. So yes, I know that earlier this year when I started my garden, I actually made quite a bit of space for the zinnias, but then the zinnias ended up being a little bit of a fail. So like I got some growing, but yeah, they weren't very happy. So yeah, I'm sacrificing part of the zinnia patch for and I'm just gonna put like this. I think I'm gonna put the tall sunflowers there. But yeah. Yeah, I have a general idea of where to put things, but oh yes, I looked that name up. Zinnias looks so pretty. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I can like try to find my a photo, because I know I posted a picture of some of my... Like I managed to take a picture of a couple of zinnias because I made a little bouquet with the two that actually looked okay. Because, yeah, the zinnias were already, like, dying by the time I actually, took that photo, but... Yeah, I got some, like, flatter zinnias, so... Just to see the variety that I grew. Because I'm more of a fan of, like, the kind of flatter flowers, I think. Yeah, back to OBS. But yeah, these two are the zinnias that grew. And of course, here's a bunch of, alyssums that I grew as well. If you're still here. But yeah. I feel like the alyssums are, like, the last standing flower in my garden. Like, they literally got snowed on and they're still alive, so... I mean, I think they're almost done, but... Yeah, now that I think about it, I kind of... Part of me wants to kind of harvest their seeds as well, but... Because I was talking about harvesting my marigold seeds earlier, too. On Clancy's stream, but... I'm just here munching on food. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were away or not, but... Yeah, Yep. Like, I get a lot of, at least some seeds for cheap is the thing, so I'm not really sure if I really need to bother, because part of the reason why I'm trying to harvest seeds is because it saves me money, so. Because it does get very expensive pretty quickly. Also, thanks for the sweet introduction. You're welcome. But yeah. Okay, I need to get this coffee started. Actually, maybe I should just lid this thing up because it's I have a thermal lid right here. I know I wasn't using it earlier because I did want my coffee to kind of cool down at a faster rate. Because, it stayed warm a little too long last time on my last Tuesday stream, but yeah, that's besides the point. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain things. But yeah, I do plan to try again next year with the zinnias, so I'm not like giving up on them, but yeah, I'm going to probably prioritize some other flowers. Apparently zinnias make good companion plants, so I can probably just like sprinkle some of their seeds around in the other parts of the garden. So yeah. Sorry, like part of me is kind of like thinking about like what I plan to do next year, so I know I'm going to switch. I know I need to like switch things around for the sake of the soil quality, so of course, it's not like the soil was very good quality in the first place, but yeah, it's usually a good practice to kind of like change things up every year, so I know I'm going to switch up I'm going to put the brassicas where the lettuce was, and I'm going to put the lettuce where the brassicas were, so. And of course the veggies that were kind of similar to them, but I know that the one thing I'm kind of worried about is where I want to put the tomato plants, so. Cause yeah, I'm just not sure where to put the tomatoes. I know I need to keep them away from certain other plants, cause I know that they can be a little bit incompatible with some stuff, because they kind of take up a lot of nutrients, but yeah, I'm just not entirely sure where to put them, because they have kind of a thin section. And I was thinking originally maybe I could put them in the zinnias and the sunflowers in the tomato area, but the tomato area is like, I'm gonna take a little break, gonna sketch it out for you guys. Okay, so here's I'm just gonna draw out my garden. Sorry if you guys don't want to see, but okay. And then we have a lettuce. So this is what the garden was kind of like. Sorry, I'm gonna make this wider because the brassica patch was actually really wide. But here is the zinnias. That's where they were, and they kind of went all the way down this line. And I got the lettuce And then carrots and onions. And there's also onions over here. There were onions everywhere. Onions, then cucumbers, homegrown veggies, yeah. Oh yes, each plant needs care. It's good to prioritize according to the seasons, yeah. And I had a few pepper plants, but they were not happy in the ground, so those ended up being like a big failure. So next year I'm actually going to put my peppers in pots, because the first time I grew peppers, they went okay, but I had those in pots, so I'm just gonna put them in pots again. But and maybe I only need like 3 tomato plants. I don't eat that many tomatoes in the first place, so and maybe I could. But yeah, I'm not really sure where to put the tomatoes. Okay, but yeah, here's the thing: the sun comes from this direction, so and it usually gets everything pretty well, but if I grow like the big sunflowers, because I do want to grow like those sunflowers that kind of like grow to be 6 feet tall, which is I'm not sure what they look like in metric, but they're, you know, it's tall. It's taller than a person. If I grow them here, basically, they would probably be blocking out the sun for the rest of the plants. Of course, maybe I can put my shade-loving plants there, but I'm not entirely sure. Sorry, like now the cogs are going in my brain. I don't know if anyone wants to hear about this. I guess if I put them here, they'd only be blocking out some stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, and I don't think they grow fast enough for a shield for the lettuce. Of course, if I put the lettuce up here, it probably wouldn't be too. Sorry, like. Okay, sorry. You guys probably don't want to hear about any plans, but yeah, I was actually thinking about like maybe if I put the lettuce over here, and then because I know some of the lettuce that they're more okay with it being a little bit cooler, so, and also they grow earlier than the sunflowers, so if I put the sunflowers here, they probably wouldn't be too big of an issue for a while. And then maybe just not grow sunflowers over here, but and then I can have the tomatoes over here. Okay, yeah, like have tomatoes over here, and I can have some beans way back here. I don't know, sorry. Okay, I'll get back to work. Sorry about that, everyone. Oh yeah, and this year it was just a bunch of brassicas, so like broccoli and cabbage, and a little bit of celery, but yeah. I'm sure it's a lovely cozy garden. I can imagine it from the sketch. Thank you. Yeah, it was okay. It was mostly a veggie garden, so it wasn't like super aesthetic or anything. You know, I tried to put in some companion plants, or companion flowers, so it was at least kind of cute, but yeah, I kind of let it fall apart by July, so it was less cozy and more chaos, especially since I kind of let the cucumbers go wild, and they grew in the wrong direction, so they kind of I think they choked out my onions. So whoops. No, whoops-a-daisy. Okay. But yeah, let's get back to work on these flowers. I think with these white flowers, I'm gonna need to deepen some of the shading, so. Oh, small home gardens are always like that. Doesn't have to be aesthetic, but functional. Yeah, that's true. I do plan to grow an actual flower patch. I already mentioned it probably a few times, but I do want to grow something that's more that's maybe a little bit more aesthetic. So yeah, I did kind of think about aesthetic for a little bit, just with the companion plants. So I was kind of focused on like yellow, orange, and purple flowers. Oops, excuse me. Sorry, hope you didn't hear that, but... Oh, my father also grew chilies in pots, haha. I remember seeing green chilies and also red ones. My mother used those chilies in her daily food. I see. That sounds good. Yeah, I know I wanted to grow chilies, or I wanted to originally grow chilies this year, but I don't know, I was paying so much in dirt and stuff, or paying so much money for, like, dirt, because I don't really want to use I don't want to, like, use the dirt that's already on our yard, because it's so, like, sandy and nutrient less, or so, like, we have crappy dirt around us, but... So I was basically buying a lot of potting soil, and I was buying compost, and I was buying all the seed starters, and it was just getting too expensive. So yeah, I didn't go through with the chili plants. I don't know, maybe I can try again next year, but... You know, it's probably going to be a bunch of, Yeah, I just imagine a bunch of pepper plants just sitting around. Also basil. I want to try growing potted basil again, because, the basil was a hard fail, too. Yeah, like, I like eating basil, but the basil was just not successful last year, so... Yeah, it's probably just have to let the dirt grow more and more. Or at least hopefully the dirt quality will get better as the years pass on. Just as I add more and more compost to it. Yeah, I know it's probably not the best idea for a gardener, but I'm kind of just throwing my scraps from the previous year onto the garden right now, because it's and I'm hoping that this winter a lot of it will break down, so I don't necessarily have to worry about it as much. But if it's not completely broken down, I can probably just you know, mix it in with the dirt. But yeah, it's kind of my plan, anyways. Okay, I'm just brushing some of this lighter color on. Okay. We'll get there someday. Okay, I think this is the only one I haven't worked on. This one rose right here, so I'm just gonna brush on some lighter colors. And then I'll lower the saturation, or the opacity, not the saturation. Wrong term. Just lighten this area here. But yeah. I know I need like something like manure too, but I feel like the manure is kind of a problem for me just because I can't use the trunk in my car because it doesn't open, and also I'm just using it as a storage space, honestly, for other stuff. So basically if I get manure, I'm gonna have to put it in the back seat, which I really do not want to do that. So yeah, I don't know how to get manure to my home. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's actually sold as manure is probably a little more aged, I guess. Sorry, I knew it just dawned on me that I said I don't want to talk about poop anymore, but okay, it's different, I swear. I swear it's different. I swear. Okay. And merged, okay. But yeah, so some sort of like animal matter, basically. I need to get some sort of animal matter into my garden. Because I hear that kind of stuff is a little more, can be a little bit more nutritious. So that's basically what I'm concerned about. And, okay, sorry, I need to change my position. Or like my seat position. Okay, the cushion is a little bit awkward. Okay, anyways. And I'm just gonna go back to the background for a bit, so. Yeah, I added some just shadows just to see if I can add more texture back here, so. I'm erasing bits of it, and I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna blend it out and see how that looks. And also lower the opacity a bunch. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of building up texture, by the way. Yeah, it looks kind of dirty, actually. Hold on. That's what darken? Actually, darken kind of makes it a little bit cleaner looking, maybe. Yeah, it was set a multiply earlier. Okay. Actually, let's see how it looks normal. Eh. How about overlay? Huh. I feel like overlay looks brighter, but okay. Maybe just blend out the stuff in this corner. Yeah, I kind of dig overlay, actually. Okay, I'm gonna merge this down. By the way, I think the ad break will be coming pretty soon, so I might just use the toilet for a little bit and then I'll come back. But yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's like I'm trying to refocus on things. I probably don't need to talk about the manure anymore, so... I was just thinking about the marigolds again, because I think I already mentioned it, but I was picking, or like collecting some more seed pods from the marigolds earlier today, because I wanted to make sure I got some of the seed pods from the yellow marigolds, because I really like those yellow ones, but I think most of the seed pods I got were from the fancy red ones. I don't know, I don't think I ever actually got a good photo of the red ones, but whoops. Yeah, there was some but yeah, I think we were talking about some of the cultural meaning between marigolds, but I don't think they really got a cultural meaning, too much of a cultural meaning in the US, but I know that I was talking about, or I was thinking earlier that I think what most people think about with marigolds is that they're actually they're thought of as really good companion plants for veggie gardens, and I'm not really sure how true it is, but yeah, it's said that they kind of repel or they're supposed to repel rabbits, basically, so of course it's probably not true for every rabbit, but yeah, it's basically said that keep away pests. So some sources say it isn't true, but a lot of people still like to collect them. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah. So, okay. Anyways, I should probably get the noise layer. So I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna set an effect on it. That will be a noise A. I'm just gonna make it really strong. Not sure if I want it this purpley color, honestly, but I'm gonna set it to overlay. Overlay, okay. Okay, I'm not really sure how I feel about the purple. I'm gonna put a color layer over it, so I'm gonna make it blue instead. Okay, I'm not sure about the blue either. Dark blue? I'm probably gonna have to figure this out. Okay, this is okay for now. Maybe. Let's sort of the saturation even, make the saturation even lower. Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this quite yet, but I didn't know that about marigolds, yeah. Yeah, I think it's there is one thing that's confirmed by science, but I don't remember. There's some sort of pest that likes to, or microscopic pest that grows in the ground, and I know it's confirmed that French marigolds will actually repel those, so. But yeah, admittedly though, from my personal experience from a childhood garden that my mom made, it did seem like the marigolds did actually help with the rabbits, so. But I think with but I know that for some people it doesn't help, so. I don't know, I can't say for certain if it's foolproof, but it does help sometimes, so. Yeah, okay. Also, I'm trying to get another. So here's a noise layer with texture, so it's Oh wow, second one. It's like, yep, I'm adding a second one. And I'll also set this to overlay, lower the opacity. So yeah, I'm trying to get this really textured and kind of, because I think it would look cool. I don't know why it's so far down though. Hold on. Okay. Okay. And also I might actually, hold on a second. Boop. Okay, and I made this, yeah, I made it kind of a cyan, so it looks brighter. Okay. I might have to hop off soon and get a good rest before my Wednesday starts. Okay, thank you for chatting in the raid. Again, I hope you have a good sleep. Sorry, I'm starting to blank out already. Yeah, it's, maybe struggling a little bit with some of the stuff, but I don't know, sometimes that's just me. But yeah, I hope you have a good Wednesday. I hope you have a good sleep and some good dreams. Yeah, I think I just need to drink more water, honestly. Sorry, everyone, I'm just kind of... like, my brain's already frying today. But yeah, again, I hope you have a good day. I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and just... Also, there's an ad break and coming in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so... yeah, I'm just gonna stare at my artwork and just trying to think about what I could do next. Of course, I can probably bring out some of the shadows for these white roses. And I think probably a good time to start like making line art, but it's nice to catch your stream. Have a great and lovely rest of your day. All right, I'm glad I was able to catch your stream as well. But yeah, see ya. Okay. And I can probably lighten some of these dots in the background because I think I might have dirtied them a little bit too much. But yeah, just kind of going over my plans for the time being. Yeah, so I don't normally just do like kind of stuff like this. As I might have mentioned before, I usually do the character focused artworks. Kind of like I'll just open something. Something like not that one. That one is nude. Sorry, I swear I don't draw that many nudes. Okay. Like I swear. Not that there's anything wrong with nudes, but... okay. Hold on. I was thinking about the sunflower piece again. I'm still really proud of this one, but... yeah. Okay. I don't know if I added this to the break screen, actually. Yeah, I need to update the break screen pretty soon, but... yeah, I'm just gonna go on my break. I'm gonna take a few moments to kind of recollect myself and probably set out another stream ad. Of course, get more water so I don't get too dehydrated. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Okay, everyone, I'm almost back. I'm just gonna make a still live post. Rose painting. Okay. Save. Post. But yeah, sorry about that. Okay. I still plan on going on to maybe around like 5 hours, so not 5 hours today, 4 hours. I feel like this is maybe a little bit too blue on some of these areas. Now that I look at between the screens, so yeah. So problem with my I think I mentioned this a few times, but there's my tablet screen has a little bit of a pink tint to it, so it kind of makes the red colors look more red than they actually are. Reds and pinks. So I have to like, keep that kind of stuff in mind all of the time. But yeah, so I'm going over the color mask that I put over my first noise layer, because it's the noise layer is affecting the colors. I'm just making it a little bit redder, so I don't know if you guys could see that, but yeah, this should be a red again. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna zoom out to see how it kind of looks from distance. I mean, it might be okay. Okay, just trying to make decisions. I did get my texturing in, so... Alright, let's work on the ambient occlusion for these for the white roses. Like, this one's okay so far, but for the other ones I need to work on that, as I mentioned before. And then I'll try doing some line art, or contouring, however you want to call it. I'll do that for the roses, kind of make them pop out more. And I feel like I'm going at this at an okay pace. I mean, I feel like it might be easy to get too deep into here, or these like different colors, or like try to get too obsessed over the details. So I'm gonna try not do that or be too bad about that. So yeah, and I'm kind of leaving the texture layers on for now because they're going to be there for the final piece. But yeah, I like it when my pieces have a lot of texture, at least by the end of it. Of course, as you guys probably saw earlier, I do tend to blend out everything a little too much at the beginning, so... You know, it's very much a balance that you need to keep your eye on. And, yeah, I know I need to, like, try to be a little more careful on it. About that on my end, so... You know, I do try to think about art a lot, so... I also keep thinking that I need to, like, study some other artworks, but I just never really get around to it, so I don't end up not doing it, unfortunately. Okay. So I've got some darker shadows over here. Just gonna lightly scrape in some darker shadows here. Maybe make this a little bit darker right under this red rose. I mean, I really like how this cyan color kind of plays with the purples here. I don't know, I feel like that came out pretty nicely, actually. Can't say I can complain about that. Okay, and this one definitely needs some darker shadows. Yeah, it just feels very a little too light. Okay, maybe more around this middle area too. Kind of make these front flowers pop out a bit. You know, it was initially my plan to keep some of these details a little more obscured. Not sure how successful I was on that, but because I know it's sometimes good to not like mark out every single detail. I know some people like that, but it kind of helps with the composition and stuff if you don't do... If you just let yourself be a little more loose. Okay. So we got that. And of course later on I can also add some general shading and general lighting, so... And that kind of unifies things. So what I mean is I usually come in with a multiply layer and then a overlay layer. And yeah, okay. And I don't think anyone's gonna care too much if I let the leaves be a little bit messier. And I feel like I need to say that more for myself. Because I really don't want to like spend too much time on these leaves. Of course I can maybe add a little bit, maybe a smidge more of detail, you know. I want to hurt, maybe I want to hurt. Okay, maybe I'm going to add more depth to these this middle area. Just try to make it darker. Okay. Boo. Okay, then we get this. Okay. Yeah, we might be okay there. Alright, let's help myself to a glass of water. And right now I'm quite glad that I have my coffee in a thermos, because it would definitely be going cold right now, because I try not to drink coffee while I'm sucking on a cough drop, because for those who don't, as I said before, I have a weak larynx, so I just kind of suck on cough drops while I stream sometimes, just to make things a little bit easier for myself. But yeah. And I feel like it would just taste kind of gross if I drank the coffee with the cough drops, so that's why I'm not doing it. But yeah. Okay, but yeah. Anyways, let's just get on with the lining. So let's rename this layer to lining. And I'm gonna try to be a little bit more loose with it. Okay. I'm gonna take this purple actually and see if that works. Maybe make it a little more blue. I tried doing a little bit of lining like last night, but I wasn't really thrilled with how it looked, so I just didn't really stick with it. I kind of like had to hold down the undo button to make sure I got rid of all of it, because I got kind of far into it, but yeah. The colors just weren't working. And I realized I just needed to work on this other stuff here, or the background, to see how detailed I actually wanted it. But yeah. It's going to be very loose line art, so there's going to be patches that are just not lined and all that. And I'll go back with the clipping layer, and I can also change some of the colors here too. So if I want to make it a warmer color in some areas, I can do that. Okay. But man, I'm really happy with the cyan noise, so yeah, it makes this like so much more interesting to look at. Maybe not from a distance, but up close it looks like it's like really interesting up close. Okay. But yeah. Just gonna go around. Okay. Zoom out. Sorry, I'm gonna try to not zoom out too much because I tend to do that when I'm feeling a little bit lost. Maybe not always lost, but just kind of like the specific job I'm doing is maybe a little more on the tedious side. Okay. But yeah, it's just how it be sometimes. Gonna mark the edges to some of these other petals. And as you can see, I'm going to be a little bit more loose here. Okay. And maybe I can use the line art to kind of emphasize some of the darker areas too. Like, I know I kind of just did that with the ambient occlusion, but yeah, I tend to work in both, like the line art and the ambient occlusion together. Just kind of how I do it. Okay. But yeah, I'm probably also going to come back with purple for the flower. Maybe not necessarily purple, but also like a more reddish color. Because I feel like I kind of cooled down this rose a little bit too much. I don't know, I kind of struggle with pink, to be honest. Like, I like pink, I like the color pink, but I'm just not very good at handling it. At least with like heavy rendering. For like simpler pieces, it's not that bad. But yeah, part of me wants to like keep the warmth of the pink, but also just kind of... But I also like shading pink with blue, because it just kind of looks nice sometimes. I feel like I had a better grasp on that with traditional mediums. Like, I did that with colored pencils in the past. And I felt like it came out pretty decent. That could just be me. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish going over this. Okay. Sorry, my model's going insane. I really need to get Spout. I just don't have a grasp on computers. Which is why I struggled. I'm just adding some of these curvy shapes in here because I think it looks nice. Okay. I'm gonna take more water. Okay. Anyways, let's go over this red rose now. As you can see, I just kind of... I'm still using the same blue, because I'm just gonna... I usually try to go over with the same color when I start it, and just kind of change the color later on. Change the colors later on. That's just how I like to do things. Okay. But yeah. You know, I'm just gonna make it thicker here. Yeah, admittedly, I don't really care too much for this middle rose. I don't know, I'm not 100% thrilled with the shape here. Okay. Alright. Okay. You know, I'm not gonna lie, part of me is kind of wondering if I was getting a little bit sick. I don't know, it's always that time of year, so it's completely possible, but yeah, I'm just not too sure. Okay. I don't know, I guess I just felt a little bit under the weather yesterday. Okay. So we got the rose right here. Also should probably put my saturation layer above everything because it's just meant to check my values, so yeah. Right now you guys can't see it, but it's under the noise layer. Probably because the noise material always kind of automatically pops on the top of the piece. So yeah, okay. Just rambling. Oops, okay, that's wrong. But she... Anyways. I wonder if there's a way to kind of build in this type of texture in a traditional art piece. Because I know that texturing kind of comes automatically with or somewhat automatically when you use traditional art. Just depending on the medium, but it's something kind of similar to noise. I don't know, maybe I can like press down a sponge with a kind of lighter color. Like when I start the piece. I'm not sure if it'll like stick around when I start going over it though. Because this kind of seems like acrylic is, or at least the acrylic pens can be pretty good about covering up stuff. It might depend on the brand though. Oh, yeah, we'll just have to see once we get there. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Anyways, just kind of fill this in. Trying to give it a lot of attitude. This line out right here, because it's kind of mine. I'd say that, like, these kind of roses right here might be the focal point. I mean, it's kind of just meant to be a loose piece, so it's not like a solid focal point, but yeah, I feel like these three right here are the main focal point, at least. You know, they're closer to the center, and they're really big. Yeah. So we're just letting this white one have some crazier line art. I know, I might erase it a little bit. Probably don't want to go too hard. Okay. As I said before, we can just alter we can make the edits later on. Okay. Oh my god, what's going on with my model? Yeah, I feel like the old model, like my V-Raid model, had a better range than what I have right now for some reason. Yeah. The struggle. The struggle. VTuber models are hard. The struggle. I just realized I forgot my stream tags. I know it's probably a few hours too late by now, but yeah, I try to tag people on Blue Sky who want it. Basically when my stream starts, but yeah, sometimes I just forget. Like today. To be fair, I don't think most people really give a crap about the stream tags, though. I feel like it'd probably be a little bit easier if I just started a Discord, but I don't know, moderation kind of scares me. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna get this in here. Just add more detail. Yep. Okay. Alright. So, just being kind of lightly doing it. Okay. Sorry, I'm being a little bit quieter. I think, as I said by the start of the stream, not too much has really happened to me these past few days. I don't know, just as you know, I've been thinking about gardening. Kind of wondering if there's any like good encyclopedia type of books or reference books. Honestly, reference books. A reference book would be more to my liking, but just like something with a lot of flower images. I feel like that would be pretty useful to me personally, because I can like look through those and I can use it for the art, my art. I don't know, I've just been thinking about that. Okay. Flip. Flip the canvas again. Okay, maybe thicken some of the stuff over here a bit. Okay. Hopefully it's looking okay. Yeah, and these thicker lines, they're a little bit inspired by Mucha, or Muka. I know his name is pronounced a certain way, but I don't think my throat is actually capable of that. Because he's from the Czech Republic, I think. So his name would be pronounced in the Czech way, but they kind of describe it as like a, I don't know, I can't even comprehend what they're describing it, or like how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, I'm just too dumb for it. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh yeah, one thing that did happen to me, like maybe an hour before the stream, is I finally got my I ordered a plushie online from Squishable because I like their plushies, and I think maybe, yeah, it's a week or two ago I noticed that I was looking on the website and it seemed like they were having a big sale going on. It's actually, I only had 6 hours to take advantage of it, and yeah, so I looked through their page and I found a plushie that I was interested in the past on sale for like $10, so I ended up getting one. I know it's not good to splurge buy, but yeah, I kind of got... I got the Sage Moth, so... Yeah, it's very cute. I have it with me right now. Oh man, sorry, I'm already growing weaker. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I should be able to go longer than this. Kinda had the same issue last Friday as well. Okay. I mean, I only have about an hour left, so I can probably hold out for another hour. Okay. But yeah, I'll probably be focusing on the basic lining for the rest of the stream. But yeah. I don't know if I talked about plushies that much in stream, but yeah, I own a few plushies with... I like to, or at least I used to like to collect plushies. I don't do it as much now. I don't really collect in general as much now, so... But yeah, I think Squishables might be my favorite brand, to be honest. I'm not super interested in like the spherical plushies that's supposed to be like the main style that they have. I prefer the ones that are like had more of their own shape. So like something like the Plague Doctor, the Moth, some of the whales and stuff. I prefer those ones, but yeah, I think it's very cute. They have very cute plushies. Yeah, I've been thinking about the plushies a little bit more. You know, it's a little bit... I think last night, actually, I just kind of watched a YouTube video about someone kind of talking about the Squishmallows, which is a different brand. They were more like the round pillows that were like really popular during COVID. I know there were people like talking about that, or like, I know I heard her talking about that, like kind of hearing about things like scalping and stuff. It's like, oh, that things changed. Well, maybe not for that brand, but it's kind of weird to hear people talking. I guess it was just kind of weird to hear people talking about scalping with those. I don't know, I feel like they were kind of, I guess maybe around 2020 they were a bit rarer, but yeah. I think Squishmallows is the rare instance where when I was in before the trend got popular. So like I got one back in either 2017 or 2018, which is kind of funny. Like I'm not always concerned about being trendy or anything, but I'm usually like late to the trend, so it's just funny to me that I managed to get the plushie before it was popular. But yeah, I originally had the owl, so like that gray owl, and I think that's still my favorite of all of them, but I did get more over the years, but I don't know, I'm not that interested in collecting them anymore. But yeah, the original thing that drew me to them was the softness of the plush. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. It's so soft, so cute. But yeah, admittedly, the excitement for it kind of faded over the years. I mean, the general style changed too, so. But yeah, that's just how it is generally. But yeah, I'm still kind of a fan of Squishable instead. Yeah, hopefully it's not. I feel like it's really easy to get mixed up with the names. There's like so similar sounding, aren't they? Squishable, Squishmallow, Squishable, Squishmallow. Just stand in front of a mirror at 3 p.m. Just kind of say Squishable, Squishable, Squishable. No, trust me, it'll go very well. Okay. But yeah. You know, one of these days, if I ever make more money, I kind of want to get a custom plush. You know, I thought about it in the past, and I just feel like it'd be kind of fun. Yeah, I get like a custom plush of my persona. That'd be fun. I know that like VTubers sometimes sell plush dolls of themselves. Like, I know that's never going to happen for me, but I don't know, I feel like a plush doll of my character would be fun. Though admittedly, I guess if I think about it, I might feel weird about other people having a plushie of me. I don't know. I don't know how other people tend to feel about that idea. Just like people having a plush doll of them, like complete strangers. Kind of scared what they'd do with the doll. Probably tie it to a rocket, just shoot it into space. It's like, no, why? Why would you do that? I don't know. I'm probably just talking crazy. Like, it's not gonna happen in the first place, so let's be honest. Okay, so I need a deep breath. Okay. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'm not too boring of a person. Something I'm a little bit worried about. I know not everyone feels that way, but yeah, sometimes it's just hard to come up with something to chat. I'm also one of those people who get kind of obsessed with something for a few months and then, you know, get obsessed with something else the next few months and all that. Like, I think, like, I know with me, it's like, it was gardening for a while, and then I don't even know what was happening on summer. Oh yeah, I think I was thinking about art fight a lot in summer, or at least in July. In August, there was just kind of honestly nothing. Maybe, oh yeah, birds. In August, it was birds. And then around sometime in September, it was the model and Blender and stuff. Yeah, I just get invested in something for a while, and I feel a little bit guilty when I move on to something else. But yeah, it's just how I am. Okay. But yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit awkward about, like, in those, like, usually there'll be like these when I try to introduce myself, it's like, oh, talk about your hobbies and interests. It's like, well, right now it's this, so I'll probably move on to something else in the next, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, not really even sure what to think right now. I guess, well, I'd say I don't know what to think, like probably flowers again. Because I keep asking everyone about flowers. Probably going to be thinking about art supplies a lot by after December. Because I know I'm going to start doing gonna try doing the hand cam stuff. Sorry, I'm like admiring the texture right here. I like it when there's a bunch of colors playing with each other. Yeah, when I was yesterday when I was like trying to add lighting to the pink flowers, I tried to sort of have a warm color and a cooler, lighter color together. Because I know if you can get the two colors, if you can do it right, they'll kind of like play together visually, and it's just kind of makes the image more vibrant. And it's just something that doesn't really happen when you have only one color, so I'm not always the best about remembering that kind of stuff. So yeah. But yes, I think that's part of the issue with the over blending, is that you kind of lose that. I love the roses. Thank you, Spaghetti. Yeah, it's been very slow. It's definitely working slowly, but I think I'm almost done with the basic line art, and then I can probably add a bit more variation in the color with the line art for some of the stuff. But I think I'm almost done with this. Maybe not almost. I guess I'm not really that super close with it, but I'm definitely focusing more on the effects and stuff. Hoping I get. Okay, I'll stretch. Okay, kind of circle my arms, do that little exercise. Okay, thank you for the stretch, Redeem. Yeah, I haven't been stretching, actually. Oh, okay. Oh, got my back. Like my spine. I'm gonna have to get more water soon, but I think I can make it last for like 20 to 15 more minutes. Maybe like 20 minutes. Because the ad break is coming in 20 minutes, so anyways. But yeah, thanks for the compliment. But yeah, hopefully this is like mostly done by the end of the stream, because I'm definitely just gonna, I'm just gonna end it at 4 hours, because I don't want to like push myself too much. But yeah, we're probably getting close to that. Yeah, I can just like, after the stream, I can probably just let it sit around for a little bit, and then try to make alterations, and then hopefully I can post it by tonight, actually. I don't really want to wait until like Wednesday, because I know I'm going to be distracted that day, because I have work tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully I should be done with this soon. And then I'll finally have another art piece out, because I haven't finished anything in like weeks. So, I've been feeling a little bit guilty about that, honestly. Yeah, but I did need that break earlier this month, just because, this model did take a lot of time. Because I had to just learn a lot of new skills, basically. Like I was, had to learn a whole new program. Maybe not entirely, I've been kind of touching on it over the years, but yes, my first actual finished work. Understandable, stream is quite nice to vibe with for my studies, so thank you. You're welcome, I'm glad you like spending time here. It means a lot. Also, sorry if you just want to keep studying and prefer to lurk, but just out of curiosity, what are you studying right now? But yeah, if you just want to lurk, that's okay. Yeah, probably kind of focused in. Yeah, it's been a long time since I actually properly studied outside of art stuff, because I do try to study art stuff in like my personal time, if I remember. I haven't done that much lately. I really need to get back into that. Yeah, my personal time, sometimes I try to look up art history, but yeah, just basic techniques too. Health and social care, it's a bit annoying but enjoyable. I see. Yeah, that does sound like it'd be pretty difficult, yeah, hopefully it's going well for you. I did take anatomy and physiology class back in high school, and that crushed me, honestly. I don't know, I'd say I really shouldn't have taken that class. It didn't help at all. And I thought it'd be learning more about anatomy and stuff, but that turned out to be something you needed to study in your own time. And yeah, that was a little bit counter to what I was hoping, so I actually had to switch out from that class into a different science class, because I was like doing so poorly in it. And the dog's barking. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, some of the health stuff was pretty interesting, but it didn't really work out. Honestly, I enjoyed the geology class more anyway. Yeah, I got to learn about rocks, and kind of wish we spent a little bit more time on maybe like geological formations, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I definitely like to sniff the sulfur when we were doing rock identification. I know it probably sounds really weird, but I like the smell of sulfur, so I don't know. It reminds me of fireworks. Oof, understandable. It could be times two. It could be fun sometimes, but when it's too scientific, it gets oof. Yeah. Yeah. My brain isn't really too mathematical. It's I think my brain prefers to function more on the qualitative stuff, so like basically fun facts and stuff. When it gets into like the math and the specific names, that kind of breaks me a little bit. Yeah, it's like there was a lot of science classes just have a lot of math because you know, measuring and stuff, but yeah, that ends up beating me up, so. Math, my worst enemy. My worst enemy. Okay. Yeah, admittedly, I prefer learning science in a more casual pace, so I'm not a scientist, so I don't need to get too deep into it. I know, of course, knowing some basic stuff is good, but yeah. It's like you know, it's always good to learn things, but you know, as long as the world isn't flat, yeah, just and also as long as you don't go too deep into pseudoscience. Well, Earth is not flat. Yeah, I'm saying it's not flat, so I was just joking. Yeah, I was just joking. Sorry. Saying as long as you know the world isn't flat. Yeah, I know that was kind of a big thing back in 2020 because there were people who were claiming the Earth was flat. But back to study. I enjoy the paint stuff. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I know it's okay. Yeah, sorry, I was worried you misheard me. Yeah, it's thankfully I never got that deep into well, not that deep. I wasn't really into conspiracy theories, so I mean, I like it's interesting to hear about, but yeah, it's I don't really want to fall into that idea, some of those ideas. Sorry, it's like my throat. Air wants to come up. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's not a burp, thank God. Okay. Sorry, I'm like trying to reorientate myself, but yeah, good luck on the studies, by the way. Don't know if I said that yet. Probably learning more about plant biology. I think that would be useful for me for, you know, obvious reasons. Like I did learn plant biology over and over again in school, but you know, I kind of keep forgetting about it. But yeah, of course I know the basics, but yeah. Maybe more to do with like pest and specific needs with the minerals. That's like what minerals I need to give them, because I kind of just give them fertilizer. You know, garden tone, basically, veggie tone. Tasty fertilizer. Of course, I probably don't want to. I don't really need to like screw with the dirt that much, but. I think I might have, earlier this year, the soil might have been a little too acidic, though. Because, some of the plants seem to be kind of struggling, but I'm not sure if that was true or not. No, I think someone might have mentioned it, or I might have asked around. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I had to, like, buy some, garden lime because that's what's supposed to make the pH kind of switch. Yeah, it's like oh, I know enough about science. Like, oh yeah, what's it? How does pH work again? No. Yeah, just trying to remember if the lower number is acidity or the higher number is the base. Like, I know mostly the basics. I just don't remember which direction they go in. Bases and acids. Of course, it's kind of hard to talk about the basics with basics or basis, because I feel like it's really easy to mix up the words. You know, I hear that lye is one of the most basic things. Okay. Okay. Okay, so... But yeah, I needed to get some garden lime in my soil. It probably didn't help because it was like throwing a bunch of coffee grinds into the soil because I wanted to keep the rabbits away. Yeah, and that might have made it a little more acidic too. But yeah, I don't know if it was actually the case or if it's just kind of bullshitting or not. But yeah, I think I also learned that it's possible that my soil was I heard that my soil could have been a bit more acidic because it was sandy. Yeah, this dirt around my house is very, very sandy, so definitely leads in that direction. It's not the most loamy ground ever. Okay, but yeah. I think loam is the ideal for a lot of gardening, so I'm sure there's cases where that doesn't apply, but yeah. Okay. Okay. But anyways, I think that I should be good on the line art for the roses. So I'm gonna make a clipping mask and I'll name it C to indicate that's for color. I failed to do that. Okay, C. Okay, now it's renamed. I'm gonna take this red color and I'm just gonna. And the canvas is flipped right now, so I'm gonna just change that. Okay, right now I'm going in with this red color. Actually, I want it to be darker. Hold on, erase. I don't want it to be too light right now. Maybe throw it a little bit in with the white rose, actually. And for some of these red roses, I'm going to come in with this very strong blue because I think it would be kind of cool looking. Because I kind of did that with the basic sketch layer. That's why some of these, before I blended it out, that's why some of the shading of the red is so blue, of the red roses are so blue. So, yeah. Okay. That should be good. For now, anyways. And I'm going to finish this water up. Okay. So that's done. I'm gonna finish working on my coffee. Maybe not finish, but yeah. Okay. Just kind of observing my work right now. Hopefully it looks okay. I feel like this could use some lighter colors, honestly. I'm gonna check how. Yeah. Oops, that's not. Yeah, basically, yeah. I think I need to lighten certain areas. Wonder what I should lighten. Huh. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go... Let's go back to the BG. Yeah, name it BG. That's the... Or they named the layer BG, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna... lighten some of the stuff up, so... Because I think it got darker when I kind of put that... or when I added those textures, so I'm gonna lighten that up. And just do it a little bit right now. Okay. How about lighten these two dots up a bit more too? So I'm gonna zoom in because they're so small that I just need to zoom in for that. I'm gonna make them a bit bigger too. Okay. Gonna make this little stretch lighter. But yeah, I feel like everything's just a bit too dark right now, so... Okay. Add you here. So I figured I may as well balance things out a bit. How do I take some, the lightest color here, so this white, and I'm just gonna add a dot next to the rose. Just see. Yeah, I'll add another little dot next to it. Okay. Yeah. Maybe one more dot over here. I think part of me still wants a little bit more red too. Hopefully I don't overdo this. Okay. Yeah, just trying to add some red speckle, just red dots here and there. Okay. Also, the ad break is coming in about 3 minutes. I don't think I need to be away for too long. I just need to get some more water, but yeah, I will be taking a tiny break. So just a hydration break essentially. And then after that, it'll probably be the last 30 minutes, so. Try to figure out what I want to do. Maybe, start adding some lighter colors. So I'm going to set an overlay layer. I'm going to have it be set to cyan, maybe. Yeah, we can see how that goes. I'm going to try out a brush that I almost never use, just out of curiosity. Just kind of lower these saturations. Okay, maybe not quite this saturated in color. Yeah, I don't know if that did anything. Oh, I'm using just kind of messing around a bit. But yeah, I'm just basically lightening things up. Just kind of throwing it around a bit too. But yeah, this is actually a custom brush I made, so you can kind of... I don't think I did anything particularly great with it, but it's mostly there for texturing, actually. Just gonna add a teeny bit over here. Okay. Yeah, back here I want to actually lighten this up a bit more. Okay. Yeah, I think that kind of works. And maybe take a dark blue, and since this is an overlay layer, it should be basically the overlay layer that should actually exaggerate the values of what I put down, so this should actually turn darker. Yeah, I can kind of see it. And I think it affects the saturation too, so I'm just making it a little bit darker. Okay, I don't want it to be that bright though. Okay. And probably just gonna blend this out, so, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna hit it with the wet bleed blender, just a tiny bit. Okay, too much. I said a tiny bit. Okay, and I think the ad break is about to land, so alright, I'll see you guys soon. Save. And to the break screen. Okay. BRB. All right, I'm back, everyone. Okay, hopefully there's like 30 seconds left on the ad break, so I'm just gonna leave it for the time being, but I'm just kind of scraping on some more colors here, so. Hopefully it's not too bad looking. Yeah, I just realized there's one detail that I kind of forgot to deal with, so I'm just gonna have to mess with that a bit later. Hello, everybody! You stuck behind the ad wall. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. Kind of made my voice very high. Not sure if people like that or just think it's weird. Okay, but yeah, I'm just kind of scraping on some of this lighter color. Playing with the texture and all that. I also added a brighter blue over here, but I don't think it looks very good, so I'm just gonna undo that, or partially undo it. And I just remembered that I still have the general shading to add, so general shading and general lighting, so I'm just gonna try to be a little more clean on it, clean with it, so it's gonna take a bit longer usually when I do that, but hopefully it's worth it. But yeah, so I tend to, okay, it's not set to multiply yet, but multiply. But yeah, kind of not like this, but I try to deepen the shadows with the multiply layer, and it also kind of helps unify things, so I usually do that. But hopefully it works out okay here. And I think the mystery light source is technically coming from above, so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of gently brush it on. And of course I'm gonna lower the opacity by the end of it, but yeah. Kind of adds more depth to the piece and all that. Maybe. I'm not sure how far I want to go with it, actually. I don't know, it's just kind of muddy looking. Erase. What if I just tried to use airbrush today? Oh god, sorry. It's not the airbrush. Well, it is the airbrush, but it's not it's the tone scraping airbrush. Basically not what I meant to use, so yeah, okay. I'm just gonna hold on. Might be just do it a little more gently. So go over this and just kind of airbrush the groups. Sorry if this seems a bit lazy today. Just gonna doing it this way though. Okay. I'm gonna name this layer shading. I think part of me just wants to be done with this, so let's get an overlay layer. I'm gonna make it pink or bright pink. Yeah, especially since this piece is like basically an abstract. I guess I don't necessarily want to just get worried too much about the rendering. It's not exactly an abstract, semi-abstract. So, okay, hold on. Obviously the roses are still kind of rendered, but it's in a non-existent space, which is probably a better way to describe this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah. And that hopefully the redder lighting though, hopefully that kind of makes this pop out a bit more. Okay. So let's see. Alright, and now I'm going to go on top of a bunch of stuff. And what I want to do is just go over with that one custom brush I made years ago. Maybe not years, actually, it's probably just year, but maybe. I have no idea when I made that, actually. I'm basically gonna add more texture. Okay. And I still need... Okay, I still haven't fixed this line right here. Oh god. Will I remember it? I have no idea. Let's just do this real quick. So I've got this bad boy. Should be multiply. Actually, let's set it to overlay. 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 Just kind of make some brush strokes over here. So okay. Maybe lighter strokes. Yeah, you can kind of see the texture and when it comes with a lighter color too. And yeah, it's just a overall color, so not much too much thought in here. No thoughts, just empty head. Okay, I'm gonna make a lot. Lower the saturation a bunch. so it's not too strong, but okay. And I think I'm gonna go back real quick and just kind of erase some of the pink here because it's too much on this white rose. Okay. But yeah, so okay. I'm gonna make another texture layer. Sorry, my model again. Texture. I should wait. Texture 2. Not it's gonna mix them up. Okay. So actually, let's put this. Okay. Sorry, I was just curious about that. Just saw a brush named Pointillism. Okay, so I'm gonna get the spray. And this is gonna add a bunch of little dots. Hold on. Spray deviation. I'll make it bigger. Maybe that's I want more of the dots in the bottom area here, so set that to multiply. Maybe just a splotch over at the corner here, maybe. Okay, just to balance it. I'm gonna lower the opacity a bunch for some. Okay. I'm gonna erase some of this too, because it's I don't want to overdo it. But yeah, today's just a lot of texturing, I think. Or not today, but yeah. Okay, and we're getting there. Just gotta name some stuff. Noise. C. Don't mind me, just realizing how many unnamed layers I have. Okay, so gonna come in and get dots. So I name it dots, but just kinda I want to put it on top of everything, and that way it kind of goes over the texture. So I'm gonna take my concept art brush. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna make this more cyan, and I'm gonna just kind of brush over some of these details here, so it doesn't seem quite as buried. Okay. Yeah. So it pops out a little bit more because it's basically not textured. And I think I need to erase some more dots on this area. Yeah, I need to erase some of these dots. Sorry. Keep getting distracted. Okay. Just gonna go over this slightly. And let's get I want a red dot somewhere. Or a bigger red dot. Rather than just this tiny little dot. Huh. Oh. Screw that one up. Okay. Red. Okay. Just one randomly going over the edge. Not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, it might be a bit of a risky choice right here. Okay. But yeah, I'm just kind of throwing in some more red here and there. Hopefully I'm not overdoing it here. Just gonna speckle some in. Okay. Just kind of making random guesses, honestly. Okay. Then I can take, or I can go to the texture 2. Thank God I named those. Of course, I probably just could have looked at the position. But yeah, I'm getting rid of more of these dots. I only wanted some, not an entire forest of them. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Hopefully not overdoing it. It's like looking at this like, oh, I sure hope I didn't overdo it. Maybe I did, I don't know. Okay. Gonna have another overlay layer, and we're just gonna Put a grayish color. Not sure what I did right there. Kind of. Okay, might be okay. Dark. But yeah, I think I... Wait a second. Ah, shoot. There we go. Sorry, I screwed up my name. It's like my clipping mask and my noise kind of disappeared, so I just kind of messed up the color there. Thankfully, I fixed it. I'll lower the saturation on these dots too. Oh, keep forgetting this. Okay, let's just do it real quick. Okay, down here, layer 2. Want this to be lighter than the edges, just a bit. Okay. Make the line thinner. Let's see. Maybe make this a bit darker, actually. Okay. Hopefully this is okay. Okay, it's maybe a little too clean. New layer. Okay. Erase the one that the part. Oh, dang it! It's not erasing. Erase this bit. Just kind of maybe put some space here. Just gonna go to the filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm just blurring it basically. Saturation, I'll make it lower. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, it's a little too sharp actually. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna delete it. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the BJ, or not BJ, oh my god, sorry. The BG layer. Okay, and oh my gosh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna brush it on. Actually, I just erased it, didn't I? Okay. Honestly, that might be okay. I don't know. I can't make decisions, no! Oh boy. Hold on. Just gonna stick this on the edge. So it's not the only sharp thing in the hair. Okay, darken this one on this side. Maybe okay, I'm gonna take this stuff and just lower this saturation a bit because it's a little too strong. Yeah, I feel like I went a little bit crazy here. It's kind of fun, but yeah. You know what, let's just go ahead and do the hard part now. I think it's just okay to leave though. And what I mean by leave is in the hard parts is you'll see. Okay. Open. Sorry. Probably annoying to do that with this song. Clip. Sorry, and I just do it again. Okay. Okay. Control C. Top of the... To the top. So some of you might be wondering, oh, how's this the hard part, Viridian? Placement. Placement's the hard part. Yep. Welcome to my hell. Okay. Welcome to my hell. Okay. Okay. Yep, okay. Yeah, you guys are probably seeing what my issue is. It's like, where does it go? Where'd I put it? Watermark hell, yep. Yep, that's almost every time, honestly. Almost every time. Hold on a moment. Put a color layer over it. Boop. Okay, admittedly this looks a little bit better. Also, I need to merge the layers real quick. Okay. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Yeah, so the big issue with having busy art pieces is, of course it's not only busy pieces, but yeah. Okay. Maybe right here is okay. I know it's not the best place, but... watermarks. Watermarks. Hold and stretch. How about here? No. Here. Okay. You know, I do kind of feel like this space is the least bad, maybe. You know, it's a little bit obstructive, but I guess that's the point of a watermark. Okay. I'll just save it for now. If I want to change it later, it might be okay. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think this is okay, an okay place to end, so. Like, could it technically be better? But sure, but honestly, I think it's mostly okay. I don't know, if I feel like if I add more to it, it's going to be chaos, so. Sorry, I'm like already looking back at the watermark. Looks nice, thank you. Okay. Sorry. Okay, hold on a moment. 90. What did I do? Cancel. Okay. What if I made it bigger again? So it's even more noxious. Watermarks. Okay. I might have killed it with the watermark at the end, but okay. You know what, let's just go ahead and look for someone to raid, so... How about I copy and paste this piece in case they ask for art tags, but... Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna raid Toxic again, so they're pretty cool. Okay, but yeah, so thank you everyone who came to my stream today, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. Oh, right here. Thank you for the stream. Yep, thank you for coming here and hanging out with me. I know it's a bit more slow pace around here, but I appreciate when people can come in. But yeah, so just gonna set up the raid, and just a reminder, I stream on Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. and I'm trying to get back into gaming, so I might stream tomorrow night, but that's maybe around 6 or 5, but I cannot promise you anything about that, so just because of how it be. Okay, it worked. But yeah, so I hope you all have a good day, and you know, just get to chill out and get some good rest, some good food, good studies if you're studying. But yeah, so all right, see ya everyone, and let's just go ahead and raid.